and your children are turned into mindless vassals who now they look up to some twit instead of looking up to Thomas Jefferson or looking up to Nikola Tesla or looking up to Magellan. I mean, kids, Magellan's a lot cooler than Justin Bieber. He circumnavigated with one ship the entire planet. He was killed by wild natives before they got back to Portugal. And when they got back, there was only...
But why? $22 million in 3 fucking hours!
There is no nobility in poverty. I have been a rich man and I have been a poor man, and I choose rich every fucking time. The real question is this: was all this legal? Absolutely fucking not.
Neither go towards the feeding grounds at the edge of the ice, nor return to the colony. Shortly afterwards, we saw him heading straight towards the mountains, some 70 kilometers away. Dr. Ainley explained that even if he caught him and brought him back to the colony, he would immediately head right back for the mountains. But why?
What's your dream? To go away.
To go away. That's great.
Do you guys want to drink? I don't understand why everybody has to be so judgmental. I understand why mom's judgmental. I think it's because she cares, partially. I think it's also partially because everyone else is looking at her like, hey, Cody's just a bum. Cody's this, Cody's that, Cody's this. Cody's me, bro. Let me be me.
GMGM.
MCG.
Let's go. What up, people?
New look, chill.
Little vibe. I like this. You guys see that on the bottom? You guys
see that
on the bottom? Come on, what's going on? Talk to him.
Let's go, baby. Nah, as y'all know, bro, MCG just teamed up with MetaDAO as a new title sponsor of the show, man. Love MetaDAO. Obviously, this is like a dream come true. We've been covering, man, this one goes way back, chill, right? We've been covering ICM and just the emergence of this for over a year now. And, you know, it really started in the early days with Believe, and Believe kind of came out and set this precedent that people want the internet capital markets, real Web2 companies, real companies coming on chain. What was lacking, though, was the ownership aspect. Right. And we were preaching about this. You know, how can we bring this amazing funnel Believe has, these amazing Web2 projects Believe is bringing to market? How can we add ownership for the people there? And for the longest time, that's been a big disconnect. So this partnership is really, really meaningful for us because for a year plus now, MetaDAO has been chewing glass, putting in the legwork, really defining themselves as the place to go when it comes to ownership and owning meaningful, ownership in companies, right? So with that being said, it felt like the natural partnership here to lock in with MetaDAO and have this relationship. And we're super, super excited for it because there is absolutely no doubt that MetaDAO is the number one place right now to raise. Like the number you see right in the bottom right corner right now, $45 million already raised. Their Futardio decentralized platform is popping off with amazing raises. Their curated platform is popping off with amazing raises. And of course, the ownership you get as a holder is second to none. So look, Partnership that just made a lot of sense. We're going to continue to push MetaDAO as we have been. I think we're just taking it a notch up. So we're really excited for this one, guys. And of course, shout out MetaDAO. We appreciate them for, stepping up to the plate and supporting us as well. So we appreciate them. Chill. Any comments on this one?
Yeah, I mean, look, MetaDAO is a natural fit for us here at MCG. I mean, like you said, we've been covering their ecosystem regardless. And I think the way we put it here in this tweet, I think it summed it up perfectly. Like at the end where we said, MCG started exactly a year ago, focusing on tokens with real inherent value. Our role within this partnership is to amplify the MetaDAO ecosystem and help make the ownership model the standard. Because we've said it a million times. You guys have heard me say this a million times. MetaDAO is the best crypto native solution for crypto native projects, for projects in general, right? Like we're talking about builders that are in it for the long term. It fixes the alignment issue. It fixes the transparency issue. It fixes the project quality issue, because naturally, when founders are accountable, they have to put their best foot forward. That creates more value for investors, and it just becomes this much more beautiful relationship between community and their founder. So love it, excited for what's to come, and appreciate the love and support from you guys as usual.
Yeah, I think this Credible raise they did recently was really the tipping point for MetaDAO. I mean, Credible went and raised a killer round. They crushed it. They smashed out of the park. 50% was pre-committed by but from a roadshow from liquid funds and VCs. Of course, holders get ownership of it. So just everything kind of is culminating here with MetaDAO. And I think Credible was kind of a bit of that tipping point, or at least it feels like it. There is nowhere on the market right now you can raise like you can on MetaDAO. That's just the facts of the matter. There's a great chart out there circulating somewhere. I'm sure you can find it. I think, was it Coliseum? Someone released a post that showed basically all the ICOs of 2026, or maybe it's 2025, but 2025 or 2026, maybe both. And their gains over the last year, almost all of them are down like 85, 95%, where the mean or the average of MetaDAO sits, positive, right? Which is greatly better, of course, than down 90%. So we have a bit of a narrative shift here, but don't need to get hung up on that too much. We're grateful for MetaDAO, and you'll see a lot more of them going forward here. So yeah, chill. There's a lot going on, man. We got some time. I'm not sure what time you want to get Mr. Crack Dev up from Squeeze, but we got a few things to run through.
Yeah, so let's run. So guys, we got our we did ask you guys earlier. I asked you guys earlier, do you guys want me to get Crack Dev on? And the overwhelming answer was yes. Get the boy on. So he'll be our first and only interview for today. It was originally just going to be Trader Radio today, but we'll get Crack Dev as our honorary guest. So we'll run the first 10 minutes or so, and then we'll pull him up to get started and run some updates and talk a little bit about him and what he's doing there at Squeeze. But for now, tons of stuff happening. I don't know if you saw this as well here, Dom, but let me show you something here. Ooh. Actually, let me go.
Yeah, man, there's a ton of news. Definitely some stuff I want to cover with you. We want to talk about ISM, what's going on there. I want to talk about, of course, like the Trump taco, what's going on in Iran. Got some stuff to mention there. Also, oh, dude, insane. Yeah, walk me through what's going on here. I just saw this actually before logging on.
Bro, literally the collective stays cooking, bro. We're constantly cooking in the Discord. This was a DLLM call out, and I think we got some good DLM plays on this. We got some people that got in with size on this. So Kate is solid, and there's actually some alpha as well, because I don't know if you know the lore behind this, but there's also another token
this
now on Robinhood.
Nearly 70 million.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro.
This is yeah, not to even cut you off, but I after this conversation, we got to talk about if we're actually in a bear market, because I've been seeing these tweets float around, and it's kind of hidden home here. It's like, look, markets are down, but you got things running to 70 mil. Like you got stonk brokers, number 6 NFT collection in 7 days. Like, are we really in a bear market? Are there really, 100x opportunities like this in a bear market? And so we have to ask ourselves, do you have to shift? Like, are you just a wash trader or are we actually in a bear market? It's kind of what you have to ask yourself in some of these scenarios because this is insane. But yeah, walk me through what this is.
Yeah, so basically this guy, I think his name's Poor Goat. He basically, basically is a 15-year-old kid, on some OG EVM on chain type of vibes. They're in a TG group chat, in a voice chat, bro, for a project. And I believe this wasn't even like listed by Pump. Like I think the token was NA or something like that. Like it wasn't even like this token was just like somewhere out the way. And basically he got into a voice chat. Voice chat got up to like 400 people just listening to this guy, this 15-year-old. Yeah, he's talking about
15-year-old kid.
Yeah, let me actually show you something. Let me actually show you something here. This is
just a random, this is a random VC in a project Telegram or Discord.
Yes, bro. And like here it is right here. 3 hours in voice chat with the community, 500 plus people listening the entire time. Let me zoom this in for you.
It's like Quan Kid, except not a LARP.
Literally. Literally, it's that's the first thing I thought about. It's the exact opposite of the Quant Kid. And basically this guy's like, yeah, a lot of people listening to me. Dude, look at what he's saying in the voice chat.
We can't hear this, by the way.
For sure. Dude, it's crazy. He's telling you that he's a 50-year-old kid and he's like putting the last of his money in there.
Also, though, we've seen people LARP as kids too. Like, is this actually absolutely. A kid or?
I mean, I would like to think so. Here's the voice chat.
Go. I'm the 15-year-old kid, bro. I put all of my money on this coin, bro. Dollars right now, bro. Listen. I'm jobless, bro. I spent all my money on Yay tickets, bro. My last $150 I put into K coin, bro. I'm up 200 right now, bro. I'm shaking right now.
Dude is up $200. He's like, I'm shaking right
now. How much did he spend on Kanye though? I know Kanye's more than $200.
Oh, for sure. He said he spent the last of his bread. So, I mean, it just kind of brought back. I mean, I don't know if you guys chat, if you guys were trenching back in like 2022, 2023 on ETH mainnet. You'd have these like sometimes these coins where people just sit in the voice chat, bro. And sometimes people like it'll be a couple hundred people listening to somebody talk, and like that kind of forms community vibes, lore, and like that leads to like coin price appreciation. And that's exactly what happened here. Like just a couple hundred people, like 500 people listening in a voice chat. And this guy is like, apparently he's on FOMO as well.
So this kid must have freaking printed that. If he was up $200 whenever that call was going on, he's probably up like what, a fortune.
Oh, dude, he's up 6 figs. Look at this. He's
oh
up
my gosh.
Or I mean, I'm sorry, 7 figs.
Is he diamond?
He bought more on the way up.
Oh, what a Chad.
So this is and this picture that you're seeing right now.
But he also sold some on the way up too.
Yeah, I think I see a sell there, but he went from like, oh, dude, I'm up $200, I'm shaking, to, bro, I'm up almost 2 milli.
Oh, 1.92. Damn.
Yes, bro. So this was an insane cook, and just to share some alpha with you guys, because this leads to some alpha on chain. Essentially, he's picked his cat coin winner on I can't believe I'm actually saying that out loud, but he's picked a cat coin winner on Robinhood, and it's this coin called Tiger. And literally ever since because obviously you can see the FOMO wallet and the FOMO thesis, right? And he's basically saying, hey, look, this is going to be the cat coin runner on Robinhood, and he's like, that's kind of his thesis on FOMO. And bro, like I looked at this at 800K, and then like snap of a finger, and like it pumped, and it was 800K like down here. I was like, oh wow, okay. And I look back, I was on a call. I look back like 15 minutes later, it's at like 2 mil. I'm like, holy crap. So yeah, there's a lot there's a lot of lore here. And the broad thesis for me is this is Murad in the making, in my opinion.
Oh
Like,
my
or it's
gosh.
giving me that kind of vibes. Remember, like, I don't know if you
This
guys
is
remember
the
this.
Quan kid. If Quan kid and Murad had a baby,
Literally.
we need to get
You
thesis posts out of this kid.
you remember SPX before Murad?
SPS 6900.
Yeah. The
I
meme coin?
never like really traded it, but yeah.
Dude, I remember, I'll tell you guys this from last cycle, and maybe this might be even a clip, but last cycle, when Murad was like on his run up of like cult coins, cults, and he had his whole big thesis around meme coins and community. There were a few coins on ETH mainnet that were just chilling. People were just blindly bullish on it. SPX 6900 was one of them. And for some reason, it was sitting at just around between like 12 and 15 mil market cap for months and months and months. And then one day, Murad says, I think I just found the next cult coin. He posts the ticker. It went from 15 mil, it jumped to 22 mil instantly. And I was like, nah, like that's all the effect it's gonna have. Like, I think I'm gonna just like sideline and just kind of just watch.
Man, oh
And
man.
literally over the next few days, it went all the way to like 100 mil plus. And of course, now, you know, we saw that
It hit a
went to
billion, right? I mean, that's
yeah,
SPX.
I think it hit like 1.5 or like 1.3 or something like that. Low billions.
Bro, people
Crazy.
forget, bro. People forget what it
Yeah.
was like when this market takes off. Like generational wealth is actually made from the most simple shit ever. Man, like we forget we've been going through this tough time, and that's why I still say we're in a bear market. We're gonna talk through all like the posts of people saying, "Do you get these opportunities in a bear market?" I think we're still in the bear market because, man, when it's that bull market euphoria, nothing's like it. Nothing's like it. You can throw some dust here and there, here and there, here and there, and next thing you know, you're up 6 figures. And it sounds ridiculous and stupid and unreal, but it's oh my gosh, take me back. Take me back. That's insane though.
Yeah.
Yo, Daddy Duster said get him on the show, bro. Dude, that would be hilarious. We got to get this kid in the show. Can we do that?
Yeah. Let me
We might need parental consent. Nah.
fact.
That
Yeah,
would be hilarious though.
that would be insane. That would be insane. But that's a little bit of lore for you guys. Obviously, you know, you guys see that Kate is at, you know, 64 mil. I mean, it looks like I don't know, maybe this heads higher. Like it seems like Ansem's picking up on this. A lot of people are picking up on this. So yeah, we'll see how much longer it has to run. But if it continues to run, I'd assume that we likely get a nice little pump on the Robinhood side. And you know, so we'll see.
What's going on with Tiger? Is there another kid running Tiger? Is the same kid? Like, what's the lore there?
I don't think he's running it. It's just one of his top three most. It's one of his top three bags on FOMO, and essentially he's kind of like said like, hey, you know, like I think this is going to be like he's king making. You know what I'm saying? Just like Murad King made SPX 6900. He's just giving. He's like, hey, like you know, I think this is like the next cat coin on Robinhood. That's why I hold it on FOMO type thing. So. Yeah, crazy world we live in.
What's up with this? Charlie said the guy who showed before being hyped about being up $200 is that poor goat dude. He was recently using a voice changer on a podcast just to not dox. Is the same kid
Okay.
or
yeah. I mean, on FOMO it says poor goat. So, like look. Like this is like it says poor goat here.
What's the user's handle in like in the video of the call?
Actually, yeah, let's take a look. Let me look. Man, dang, did I get that all wrong? Dude, there's so much happening at the same time. It's kind of hard to keep up.
No, I think you got it right. But if he's using a voice changer, that's a little sauce. We need a real 15-year-old. We need a 15-year-old dox, dude. That sounds bad. Jeez.
All right, bro. All right, bro.
This is the issue. Talking about 15-year-old kids, it's just
All right.
yeah.
all right, bro.
Let's not. Nonetheless, bro. Nonetheless,
Yeah,
check if
poor
that
goat
voice
is the guy's name. Poor goat is the guy's name. All right. Yeah, poor goat is the guy's. It's sus.
If it's not a 15-year-old kid, obviously we're all cooked. If it's not a 15-year-old kid, this whole thing goes to shit. That's for sure. That's for sure. But nonetheless, that's hilarious. Great story.
But I
You
know
want to
you
do some
had
housekeeping
news.
right quick before I'll
Yeah,
jump
oh,
into some
yeah.
news.
Yeah,
Stock
yeah,
market
yeah.
added $1 trillion today. Guys, stock market added $1 trillion today off the manufacturing expansion we're seeing. $1 trillion. Bro, that's like, what's the Bitcoin market cap right now? 2.5, 3 trillion? If
Something
that,
like that.
bro,
Something like that.
it added a third. It added 33% of Bitcoin's entire market cap in a day. Like shit, guys. Come on. We're early. Yeah, walk me through some housekeeping, then we can talk some news, chop it up a little bit. And of course, we got our boy Crack Dev in the waiting room. Pull him up whenever we get done with some stuff. Oh, he went on a podcast with Min Dynasty, by the way, goated content creator. He sounded like a 30-year-old. Oh, brutal. Brutal.
Man.
Okay, here, do housekeeping. I gotta find this. Is this a recent thing?
Yeah, let me do
Brutal.
housekeeping while you search. That's actually crazy. Well, guys, we have about 250 almost in here already. We just started. He sent the link in the chat. Hey, Top Fumbler, can you send that link in the Discord? Because we can't copy and paste from the chat on our side.
I'll just
send the link in
open
the
up
Discord.
the chat. Oh, it's all good.
Yeah. But yeah, guys, look, it's almost 250 of us in here. We appreciate you guys showing up to yet another stream here at MCG. Housekeeping, you already know what we're about to do. Two things I need you to do. First, you want to go to @MCG Live. Go to @MCG Live on Twitter. Make sure you're hitting follow. Make sure you're hitting the follow button. We're here Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern time. We cover everything happening on chain. We cover your favorite projects, cracked builders. In this case today, we also talk to cracked devs as well. Then you want to scroll down. Appreciate you guys for 13.6K followers. Thank you so much.
Dang.
It's crazy. Like literally like 100 followers a day. It feels like constantly coming in. I wonder if
weekdays.
I wonder if I can see something here. I wonder if I can see something here.
What the new?
No, I can't. With the new follow, yeah, new follow. Let's see. But you want to go down to our latest tweet, and you want to do two things on this latest tweet. A lot of you guys already did it. Just hit like, retweet, bang, real quick.
Stop putting in
real
work.
quick. And you know what? Like just for
comment something nice about Chill's PFP today. Chill's looking actually handsome in his PFP.
Yo, chat, should I dox chat?
Yeah, y'all, enough prying and poking will get Chill to dox. I'm telling you guys, he's walking the tightrope. He's on the fence.
I'm the cracks.
You would be able to
focus
focus though, dude. If Chill docs, guys, like I promise you, just be staring at your screen. He's so handsome. He's so hot.
This guy. Yo, did you guys see this, by the way, when we asked if Crack Dev we should get him on? You guys see that? Appreciate the boy for the follow.
It's so funny, man. It's so funny. Like,
appreciate the boy for the follow. That's like actually that's actually crazy. But we got people that watch 12-year-old with a voice changer. Imagine.
Bro, that's honestly, I'm looking at this Ming Dynasty post, bro. Like, that's tech.
All right, let's pull it up. Let's pull it up.
Okay.
Let's pull it up.
Look, this is new tech, bro. And I mean, I think people, if they haven't caught on after Quant Kid, they're catching on now because clearly LARPing as a child. And I can't believe I'm saying those words out loud, but it seems like LARPing as a child is going to get you guys paid. In the big 2026, if you act like you're 15 years old, you might actually get paid. What are we doing? Yes, bro. No. Meteora is still an investor and sponsor of the show. We just we just have Metadao as a title sponsor. Yeah, but Meteora is definitely here with us all the way.
Yeah,
all the
we're
way.
still rocking it out with Meteora, bro. Like huge partner of the show.
Huge partner. We'll make that clear. We just we had to like turn around this this new graphic like over the weekend, so we just got to touch up a few things. But yeah, still rocking with Meteora. With that said, here's the Ming Dynasty interview. This was on the 27th. It's got damn near 200K views. That's insane, bro. 800 bookmarks. Yo,
that's crazy. Wait a second.
All right, let's hear, bro. The big reveal.
Wait a second.
What's up?
G Squeeze, Mr. Waka Flocka Flame. Appreciate you, dog, for joining on the stream. We need to get you on, brother.
We gotta get Waka.
We gotta get you on. We got guys.
I was telling the guys before this, bro.
That's gotta be crazy. That'll be crazy.
The funniest Waka lore, bro, is when he's got that sign language interpreter, just breaking down the I forget what song he's singing, the Waka Flocka song, and Waka's just going crazy. It's so funny, dude. It's so funny. It's so funny.
But yeah,
let's do it.
Let's do it. Bet. I'm down.
But yeah, bro, let's see about this. So yeah, this video went crazy. But let's see if this. People are saying they think this guy's 30 years old. So I guess we got to figure it out for ourselves here.
That's right.
And you've held it to 7 figs, 1.5. Now it's 690. Walk me through that. Like, how did it feel to hold it from 30 to fucking 1.5? What's up, dude? My name is Min. How you doing?
Nice to meet you. Yeah, it's my first time doing something like this. So
really?
Yeah.
That's sick.
I kind of.
It sounds like a voice changer to make him sound older.
Nah, it definitely is a voice changer, but like, bro, his voice is already out there though. Like the whole point was him being 15 years old in the VC. So, all right, but we got to hear the cadence, bro. And like, I cannot believe we're sitting here right now dissecting a 15-year-old's like.
He's not 15. It's already debunked. He's not 15 anymore. Like he's not. It's proven.
What do you mean it's proven? Like as from this video? The way he talks isn't 15-year-old. Damn, boys. Is he not 15? We just got LARPed on, bro. I'm telling you, bro. That's the tech. You got to LARP as a 15-year-old. Jeez. More power, honestly.
Low profile in this space. I like to.
That's very smart.
I like to stay under the radar, but now I'm kind of in the public eye.
He had like a
dude, that is not a 15-year-old, bro.
The other dude had like a New York accent too. He was like, yeah, like I'm not even gonna attempt to do a New York.
This is huge. Yeah. I mean, I've followed Ansem forever. Like he's one of the only like he's the guy.
I like him.
Nah. Nah, he's not 15, bro. He's not 15. Yo, that's crazy. That's crazy to me.
All right,
whatever.
Run through your stuff, bro. Run through some breaking news. What we got going on? What's been going on, Dom?
Let's
What's
talk
been
news
going
real quick.
on?
We got quick. We just got to run through what's going on with Iran here. You know how Trump does it. Friday market close. We're talking about bombing the shit out of Iran, and then as we open going into Monday, we're sitting there making peace talks. We love each other. Here's what we got coming out of Trump's corner today. Trump says Iran privately seeking talks. Trump says the U.S. Navy controls the Strait of Hormuz. Trump says sanctions stay until the Iran deal. Trump says Iran will never have a nuclear weapon. And then he says talks with Iran are continuing. Okay, nothing new here. We've really seen it time and time again. In more important news, we got to talk about Saylor. Michael Saylor is selling his Bitcoin. Remember, 6 to 9 months ago, the dude said he's never selling. Quote unquote. He is never selling his Bitcoin. Okay. He started to sell his Bitcoin. He sold like a couple weeks ago. I forget when it was. Sold a couple weeks ago. We talked about it being kind of like a bottom signal. And ICO Beast has a good take here. And I want to talk through it chill with you. We have the lowest Bitcoin volatility in history, which I find that crazy if that's actually the case. But according to ICO Beast, lowest Bitcoin volatility in history, and the Eggman, Mr. Saylor, is unloading after a 55% correction over 10 months. Not calling bottoms, but definitely the kind of thing you see at bottoms. I called it a bottom signal last time. It's flashing. Like Michael Saylor selling, I feel like that's been the overhang for the entire cycle. Was like the Michael Saylor cycle, the conversation. Michael Saylor's bought 4 or 5% of Bitcoin, whatever it is. What happens when he sells? What happens when we get the strategy unwind? Blah, 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 blah. I think it's a bottom signal. It's flashing. What do you think, Chill?
Yeah, I mean, you guys already know what I've been trying to saying over these last few weeks. Like, I think we got one little trip sub 50K, but like, we hit a spiritual bottom like a few months ago. We hit an on-chain bottom, a few. Yeah, bro. I mean, like, there's just been like it's at a certain point where like people have lost so much. It's like any little sign of gains, any little sign of something better is like instant hope, right? And so I think from a vibe standpoint, we bottomed. On-chain bottomed as well. I mean, just from mid-June, to our back to our call out, our early Robinhood bridge call out. I think from that point forward, like on-chain clearly shifted. I mean, even with Market Bubble and Ansem, that was a clear shift in on-chain as well.
Sentiment,
with the Ansem token. So yeah, I mean, I think BTC bottoming is just kind of like the last checkbox, but overall signs have been pointing to a bottom for a very long time.
I mean, look, yeah, like we got Clarity Act looming, whether that passes or not. Like ultimately, if it passes, it's bullish. If it doesn't pass, I mean, then what? We're in the same cycle that we have been in. It sucks, whatever. But like that's a great signal. Robinhood, largest retail financial app, creating a blockchain and heavily pushing RWAs and agentic finance, like that just screams bottom signal to me. Coming in again at Bitcoin lows during low volatility, like ICO Beast mentions here. Michael Saylor unwinding his position that's been a looming overhang for a while. Again, like these are all things coming in at this time in the market, seems very promising. So I'm in the camp that, like, again, still, if not currently, we're at or around a bottom with Bitcoin. Like that DCA should just be, you should be spamming that DCA, honestly. So yeah, signals are flashing, man. Signals be flashing. Let's just leave it at that. Real quick, I guess with that note as well, right? So we saw today, obviously ISM dropped, and we basically are seeing a lot of economic expansion in terms of manufacturing. Manufacturing in the US looks good. Again, as a United States citizen, I'm not seeing this on the ground level. Like I see the numbers are telling me one thing, the economy, what I'm seeing is telling me a whole different thing, but we're looking at the numbers today, just off of this, and I'll pull up Psycho's post, which is really, really good and informative. He says ISM PMI just printed 55.6. Now, guys, anywhere above 50 for ISM is basically we're in economic expansion, is basically what that's signaling. We're up 2.2 points from last month, and this is the highest print in over 4 years. Definitely signaling expansion territory, which is pretty crazy. The business cycle has only ever printed above 54 when it's really within expansion, and that's a 55.6. All roads lead one way. So, he seems to be bullish again, added $1 trillion to the stocks market cap, or equities, I should say. Let me actually tab over there and real quick, just see what's going on in equities world. Yeah, look at that. NASDAQ up 1.75% today. The S&P, wow, look at that. S&P just looks phenomenal. Up 1.5% on the day, and the Dow Jones up 1% on the day. All of these indexes pushing all-time highs. So, of course, you can assume lots of the stocks within them are doing the same thing based on their weighted average. So that's pretty crazy. $1 trillion added to equities market cap today. And I pulled this up just to get a quick look at it. The entire circulating supply of Bitcoin right now is worth $1.26 trillion. There was $1 trillion added here in the last day, but realistically, last couple hours, I'm not sure exactly what time ISM was today, but they've added $1 million plus or $1 trillion plus dollars to the entire circulating market cap of equities in the last day, whereas Bitcoin's entire circulating market has 1.26 trillion. So we pretty much added an entire Bitcoin market cap to equities in one day, and we think Bitcoin is expensive. I don't know, boys. Again, bottom signals flashing, in my opinion.
Look, if you guys follow Credible Crypto, and maybe if you follow him for any period of time, there's something that he talks about a lot. He mentions that there's enough liquidity out there in markets, period. And I think the overarching theme for this upcoming bull market is going to be the merging of traditional finance with crypto. I think we're going to basically be absorbed by regular finance, and we're just going to be seen as the more riskier end of finance. I mean, as things like MetaDAO and their ecosystem, ownership coins, and all these things kind of help to provide some sort of accountability, some sort of protections, provide some sort of transparency to our space. It's just going to help make that merge a lot easier to happen. And then at that point, narrative will continue to drive everything like it always has. Narratives aren't only in crypto, metas aren't only in crypto. Before it was there were meme stocks, there were AI companies, there were social media companies, like there are all sorts of metas and different things happen in finance overall. But I think in going into this bull market, it's going to be very, very interesting dynamics as liquidity can flow much more easily from traditional finance down the risk curve, or I should say out on the risk curve to riskier assets like crypto.
Yeah, I mean, I would tend to agree a little bit here with Crypto Jones. He says, I think tech stocks are sucking up all the liquidity. Yeah, again, historically, when crypto's been hot, it's been outperforming, everything else. And I do think that that's, again, the biggest limiting factor here is the fact that everything else right now in the market, thinking equities here, even private equities, are just up and to the right, just absolutely ripping. And so it's like, why even come down the risk curve into crypto when you can park your money in equities, the traditional safe baskets, and print hundreds of percentages of gains, 100, 200, 300, 500% in a year, right? Why would you? And I think that's fair to say. So I do still kind of lean towards when we start rolling over in stocks and equities, lots of that trickle down effect comes down the risk curve into crypto. So I do agree with the notion that tech stocks ripping up is sucking liquidity, and it's kind of a limiting factor here for crypto. But I also do still think crypto is going to get a rotation at some time. Again, everything else is up and to the right. Crypto's bottomed out. So it just seems primed. Prime. But yeah, also, man, and maybe this is a conversation for after Squeeze Dev, because I don't want to keep him waiting too long. But Gainsey put out this tweet, and actually there was a tweet by Crypto Cousin, man, who is hilarious, by the way. I remember following him.
I follow him.
I don't think I follow him either, but he's a funny guy. Nonetheless, he goes, I don't know, man. And I want to hear your thoughts on this. He goes, I don't know, man. I don't think you can really call us a bear market. There aren't 100x opportunities weekly in a bear market. Safer to presume the game has changed and you're washed. Is that the hard reality, Chill?
Yeah. Yeah. Look, maybe it's not that you're washed. Maybe it's just that you're lazy. Hear me out. If
you're washed, man, bro. If you're lazy, you're washed, right? It's one
right. Really? Okay. All right. Well, right? Yeah. If you're late, if being lazy means you're washed, then you're washed. I mean, the thing is, if you took the time to really just kind of even myself, I was a little bit lazy in the stonk, or not the stonk, the FWA opportunity, right? Just not there's a barrier to entry. You got to buy into the game and kind of be a part of that. And you have to really dig in, research, being willing to being willing to kind of being willing to research and actually take part in the actions of the protocol, whether it's playing a game or ripping a pack or whatever it is. Even stockbrokers with the NFT, taking the extra step to just see what the NFT world is about. It's if you are willing to just commit the time and just do the work, then do the work. You know what I mean?
Bro, so it comes back. We say it time and time again, barrier of entry and friction can be some of the most obvious signal in the world. There was friction to get over to Robinhood, but guess what? If you were tapped in, if you followed what Chill was saying in the Discord, you went over and bridged through the sketchy bridge, you threw some dust at it. Well, you're fucking printing. Okay, excuse my language. You're fucking printing is pretty much what's going on. Barriers
excuse my language.
Boom again. Repeats it. But no, really though. and again, we saw the same trend. We've seen the same trend for blockchain after blockchain after blockchain. If there's a barrier to entry and friction, and there's actually something going on there, and there's a little bit of motion, it's almost always worth bridging. Same thing here and for FWA, right? You see the only way to get access to a token is minting, buying an NFT, using a platform, and then, I guess burning some of that for a token. I don't know all the details to FWA, but I know stockbrokers, you had to cash out, redeem, or burn the NFT to actually get the tokens. So it's a bit novel tech, and I believe that's using V4 hooks, right? So again, partially sparked this V4 hook narrative, and I think it's leaning into it, and their launch pad is doing some cool things there too. So,
yeah, I mean, if there's a barrier to entry for those that are willing to get over the barrier, you get rewarded. And so if you're lazy, means you're washed, and you're not taking the time to actually like do the work and push through, then you're washed. Like, it is what it is. You have to, like, this is a fast moving space. Trades come and go. There's been 100x opportunities overnight or in a couple of days. I mean, shout out the Kate coin, or Cat coin, whatever it is, Kate coin on Solana. I mean, if you just took some time to say, hey, like, let me just research this, and you find out all the lore, then that could have been easy. But if you don't take that time, you're not going to see the plays. Are you doing a tier list of CT tech traders like yourself, ProLab, Game?
We should do this, bro. On a chill day,
I'm down to. Yeah, on a chill day. Yeah.
The issue is, bro, we're gonna get fucking shit. We're gonna get shit on by some people that think they deserve to be higher that don't.
Here's the thing. You guys already know. You go to my account, you go to the Chad's list on my account. Those are the people that I keep up with. And then, of course, literally the two things are my Chad's list and the MCG Discord. Those are the two places you can find me.
Here's what I'll do. Here, I'll give a little shout, bro, because there are a few like mainstream traders that I actually think have like ranked up on my list a little bit. Okay, so these are three you guys will all know, and I will say I think Frank deserves more credit. Right back during the initial AI cycle.
Yeah,
I've been saying that, bro. Back during the initial AI run up, I think like I wasn't giving Frank a lot of credit. I thought some of his takes were not so based. But recently, he's been kind of deep in the AI weeds. He's made some good calls. He's kind of like taking a backseat to some stuff, man. But Frank's actually on point. Even Ansem, like I think same kind of thing. I wasn't really watching Ansem's trades. Like it wasn't really a signal for me. I think Ansem's pretty high signal right now. Now that he's really tapped in and locked into the market. And last and maybe least, I will say a little cheeky shout, not for crypto so much, but Thread Guy's actually doing some cool stuff in equities right now. Like he's actually tapped in there. I don't know. I think Thread Guy actually maybe, is working his way up. In terms of like normie coded traders that I think are actually like kind of cooking. So, but yeah, we should do a tier list. That'd be kind of funny sometime.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I mean, I think people on the tier list for me would be, I'm looking right now. I'm just looking at my list. I think
definitely be up there.
Yeah, top three for me. Number one would be I gotta throw Game up there.
That was on my top three though, just to be clear. I was just like giving a cheeky shout.
Oh, got you, cheeky shout. Yeah, you know what? I'll just I'll just do cheeky shouts. I'll do cheeky shouts. First, Game gotta be. I'll also hit. Let me see. Let me go to my members list. PX, gotta shout out the boy PX, and then I might even throw Lezabre.
I was just gonna say it. You just came in my mouth. Oh,
Jesus! Oh my gosh! Cut the stream. We're done. That's it, guys. Have a good one. We appreciate you guys for tuning in to MCG today. We appreciate you guys. Oh my goodness.
Jeez,
Hey.
I meant you took the words out of my mouth, bruh.
Jeez. Oh man.
Oh, guys, you're getting banned.
Clipped. He just got clipped.
You're getting banned, dude. I will literally quit. Jeez Louise. Brutal. Oh my gosh.
All right, let's run that back. Let's run that back.
Lezabrae's a great shout, though. Yeah.
Yeah. Jeez. And you guys don't know this guy. but Mike, bro, you trust me. You know, this guy right here, Mike. Oh yeah, let me gotta shout out my dog here. You guys don't know him, but this guy right here, he's low-key alpha. Low-key alpha. Like you gotta hunt for all the small accounts that are like doing really good, but like from a TA chartist standpoint,
This is a sleeper.
Gotta give a shout to my boy. Gotta give a shout to my boy.
All right, we're doing, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. That's it.
If we're doing more shouts too, I will say the GG.xyz guys have been on game. Rick
Yes.
Crosschain and Dace have been on game. Like they've been
AJC too.
AJC
from Blockworks.
And that's another little cheeky one too. You get the analytics guys like Blockworks and Masari guys, or I guess now just Blockworks, but you get some of those guys, they give good shouts. Lots of it highly technical stuff, but when you get them actually hunting on chain, they drop some alpha. Nonetheless,
all right, yeah. Moving on.
Let's crack dev.
Dom's erratic behavior. Let's go ahead and jump into squeeze now. Man.
He's a Freudian slip. Chill, dude. Chill. Nah, that was probably one of the worst. That was brutal. Yeah, let's do squeeze, guys. We got our boy Crack Dev coming on. Crack Dev, you want to maybe just give us a thumbs up if you're good to go? Been on before. Fascinating stuff. Chill, if you want to even give a little intro to
Yeah. So let me intro this one, guys, because when we first brought on Squeeze on the stream, number one, you notice their community. Their community is absolutely goated. I mean, you see their community in the chat right now.
Shouts out.
I love that. It anything that reminds me of the vibes of OG ETH mainnet on chain, like anything that reminds me of that, I feel like from a spiritual standpoint, from a vibe standpoint, is super bullish. Super bullish. When you have a community of people
spiritual recently. He's all into the spiritual vibes.
Spiritual bottom, spiritual, but it's super bullish, bro. Community around a Crack Dev is super, super bullish. You have like evangelists that didn't really need money. They didn't need to make money. They just see the opportunity and they're super passionate about it. And they're going to evangelize for that particular product. So community is good. That's distribution. The other thing is the network. I'm not even going to talk about it. I'm not going to talk too much about it, but you saw who was in our chat just a few minutes ago. You saw who commented on hey, RJ, you see it. You see it, RJ. You see it. You know, you see that who they're connected to, who they have within their network. That's also another distribution angle for them as well. So those are the things that I feel like are really bullish. Obviously, there's the underlying tech. It's a launch pad. They have that squeeze mechanic. There's buy and burns and other things, and we can have Crack Dev kind of run through some of those at a high level for us when he first comes on. But I think just everything in general, really that it all screams like an opportunity to me. And I think that they're building something very, very special over there. So that's my take on Squeeze. I've been Squeeze pilled. I even have the community pinned in my TG. Like I'm rocking with them.
High praise to have the community pinned in the TG. All right, guys, without further ado, let's get Crack Dev up here. We want to remind you, this is presented by MetaDAO, the best place to raise. If you want ownership, you go to MetaDAO. It's the best place for traders, giving them rights and ownership over tokens, as well as the only place that's raising like they are right now. It's MetaDAO. So go ahead. If you're looking to raise, tap in with MetaDAO. Tap in with us. We can help you get there. Without further ado, Crack Dev, welcome back on the show. Has not been a long time.
Yo, what's good, boys? You got a little sus over there for a second, but
hey, we you know what? I got no defense.
No,
I have defense. Dom has no defense.
I just, sometimes we're live on stream, shit happens. I'll take that one to the chin there. That was a pretty
Jesus, man.
Take it to the damn. This guy
relax.
just keeps stacking those up. That's crazy.
I know. Relax. Can someone get him off?
You drop.
As simple as that.
Nah. Crack Dev, you're cooking though, bro. What I'm excited about here is I saw this recent update, and we're gonna even give people a quick TLDR for those that weren't on the last stream. But it looks like you guys are going cross chain. Of course, good friends with Meteor on the show. Proud sponsors or proud sponsored by Meteor. Of course, you're bringing things cross-chain, though. This is a huge market to tap into. Sunrise DeFi is doing this really well. They've been bringing, of course, this is a wormhole product, Sunrise DeFi is, and they've been bringing like equities on chain via backpacks brokerage. I thought that was really cool. Recently, they brought on Ansem. It seems like you guys are now going cross chain in a couple different ways. Can you walk me through what's going on here?
Yeah, no, we're we started off the launchpad as like multi-chain, right? Like everybody already knew we had the base, we had the Robinhood, and we had Solana already live. But we really seized kind of Robinhood's momentum to really, kick ourselves off, and that's where we launched our token. But the plan the whole time was to go multi-chain, and this actually leads into kind of the future discussion. And you mentioned Wormhole, but Wormhole doesn't actually publicly offer any support for Robinhood. Like if you go through their portal, you can't actually just bridge and register your token yourself. So we had to come up with a way to actually get our token over to Solana and, eventually get it over to Base as well, as we want to have, our coin kind of live on all the ecosystems that we're supporting. So that, that led us to actually build our own bridge. And you see it here in the logo, Bridge Change. Like that's just another, like, I guess you could say a subsidiary of Squeeze, where, it has another flywheel mechanism that goes back to the holders. The coin itself generates fees that essentially just go back into Squeeze. And, we do have those, we do collect fees in both sides, quote and coin. So we're also going to be looking to distribute some of the fees that we've earned on Bridge to our holders on Squeeze and start that, real flywheel and distribution to our holders. I think right now we've earned 2.5% of Bridge that we're just going to be distributing out to our holders. Yeah.
So is Bridge a separate coin?
It is a separate coin with the same mechanics where it just kind of fuels Squeeze in terms of kind of buy pressure. On the creator side, we're also swapping in those fees on the Bridge token because, like you said, I think you used the word evangelize. I can't even say it, but evangelize, whatever it is. We're going with a bang, so we're just pissing all the money away into the coins, and then those coins that we actually collect from the other side of the pair, we just want to distribute them out. Yeah, and the reason we kind of put a separate coin there is because we do have like a flywheel aspect to the Bridge itself. So the holders of the Bridge coin are actually going to get distributions from the fees of all the coins bridging. So, we already got a couple $100 of Ansem that Bridge through, and now we're going to distribute that out to the holders of Bridge.
Got you. Okay. Let's walk this back for anyone new here.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where you were going, Chill.
Yeah, let's because we kind of dived into the middle of it, and that sounds and it's really exciting, like what you guys are working on, because I feel like there's a lot of implications. But just to kind of start from the top, so that way everyone has the right perspective and the right context around the Squeeze token, the Squeeze product, and then kind of linking that with Bridge. Start with the TLDR on Squeeze.
Yeah, so Squeeze, as we kind of kicked it off with you guys, is a launch pad by nature. We have a lot of different custom mechanics built in. We've built out custom curves that allows essentially fresh or clean, fair distribution. Allowing holders to kind of get in at the same prices, build up a community, and then push together once you kind of squeeze the chart into the second curve. We're taking that same tech and we've actually ported it over to Solana. So it's live right now also on Solana with our custom curves, which is something that really isn't being done right now on Solana. But that's the essence of Squeeze. It is a fair launch pad that gives better distribution, gives way better creator fees. We offer between like 2 to 4 times whatever your other competitors or our other competitors are offering right now. So we're really just, trying to make something that gives back to the creators, not takes from them, and also rewards participation from the community.
Yeah, I want to direct this, I guess, next question towards you here, CrackDev, because we see there's so many launch pads, and Robinhood's like right now going through the crisis of launch pad wars. And this is not like uniquely Robinhood thing. We've seen this on Solana, and what it comes down to is almost all of them end up failing except for, you know, either like the main runner, right? Like Pump Fun, whoever was maybe first to market, whatever it might be. And I see a unique trend in crypto that I see time and time and time again. It's the products that do well are like uniquely crypto products and like unique to themselves. It's not so much like copying another launchpad or forking it and slightly iterating on maybe better fees or bringing my own pipeline to it. When you think about your launchpad and the launchpad wars we have going on, how do you think about standing out and making something unique? Because I think truly for a launchpad to break out and beat just the leaders out, you need to have something completely unique and completely novel. So maybe talk me through how you're thinking about that.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think it comes down to the launch mechanics and who we are as kind of like founders here. We're really trying to curate quality projects. Like we really just use Bridge as an example of how things can be and should be, especially on Solana. We did do a good fair launch there. So I really think that this distribution model that we have hasn't necessarily been cloned yet. I know some people are trying to do it, but it takes a lot of, I don't know, I guess math, I guess you could say, to build out these curves. And some people just haven't figured out how to build that fair launch model. So it's really just making it as transparent and fair for everybody that's participating. Like the key with us is, you guys hinted at who's participating with us. These people want to onboard people to somewhere that's fair. And that's just not offered right now kind of in the market from how we see it.
What's the biggest, when you say fair, like if there's something that you can point to specifically that every launchpad is getting wrong, what would that be?
Well, if you look at the competitors right now, especially on Robinhood, a lot of them are primarily focusing on, I guess you could say those B2 pools, and now they're all upgrading, right? But those allow for heavy bundling primarily. Like the supply isn't necessarily distributed in a way where it provides equal opportunity to everybody. Typically how it goes right now is first come, first serve, and you kind of get the advantage over everybody else. Whereas we don't have that. It's an even playing field, and it's how we launched Squeeze itself. The floor was 125K market cap while we kind of did this fair launch sale, and every single participant that joined in there got in at the same price. So it's not like someone got in before someone else, ate up a huge chunk of the supply, and has that leverage over them, right? It's kind of like eliminating the zero sum on that first deployment, that initial launch. No one can necessarily PvP anybody else while that first pool is kind of growing. If you don't have the patience, you get in, you get out, you lose your fees, but you can't take money from someone else. And it's also a way to kind of give projects an opportunity to shine. And our ethics and morals here are, failure is okay. It's just, it shouldn't be kind of rewarded in the sense that you can, dump on a bunch of people and make money as you walk out the door. So if there is a failure in these instances, everybody kind of walks away with what they put in, less, fees. But the key there is to not reward failure. Failure exists. I feel like I'm going a little bit of a circle there, but
no, but can I ask a little bit more about this mechanism, how it works? You mentioned, okay, it's like a flat raise. There's not necessarily the bonding curve that we're used to. We've seen people try to do anti-snipe with their stuff. I know Virtuals does it. I remember Believe did it back in the day, where they kind of had like a tax decay mechanism. It starts off 99% tax for the first second and then goes down like every second past that, or whatever their custom setup is. How do you feel about tax decays, and like what's the difference between, I guess, if you guys have this flat raise and like an ICO platform, like, maybe MetaDAO we have down here as a sponsor?
Yeah, no, for sure. I guess what distinguishes us is like typically with those pre-sale, and nothing against MetaDAO here. And honestly, I can't even speak to their tech. It's not something that I try to focus in on. I try to silo myself off into building the best I can rather than focusing on, other platforms or competition. But typically your money is kind of locked in a way. It's not like an open, accessible liquidity pool. And that's like, if you think back in the pink sales and stuff like that, you're locking your money in and counting on the fact that it's going to bond, or, even some of their mechanisms would just bond it regardless. We don't do that. Ours is a publicly open, essentially liquidity pool right from the jump. So there's no restrictions. There's no, your money's tied up in any way, shape, or form. You can kind of just jump in and out as you wish.
Okay, that makes a ton of sense. Okay, very, very cool. So that's Squeeze, and then Squeeze is the launch pad. I guess under this ecosystem umbrella now, you also have Bridge. And so I want to talk about how the tokens tie together as well. We've seen people do I mean, for example, look at stockbrokers. We were talking about that before, right? They're doing this ecosystem where they're creating all these applications on Robinhood chain. You guys are, of course, creating applications on Robinhood, also multi-chain as well. Talk to me about the ecosystem now, because we've got Squeeze, and now we're talking about Bridge as well.
Yeah, so our whole thing is distribution, right? Like, and it's more of a strategic direction. If we had launched this under Squeeze as an umbrella, we would have reluctancy from other coins, other platforms that wouldn't necessarily want to participate, right? Now that we have like a separate, like a subsidiary for it, it's like a standalone. It's got its own subdomains, etc., and it's not necessarily tied from a perception standpoint to Squeeze directly. So it's more like I don't know, it opens up the playing field for us to access more communities across the board from other launch pads and essentially get a lot more exposure. And that's the key, right? If this was a Squeeze thing, it would be hard to get like a Pawns coin to come and bridge with us, right? Because there's that loyalty and dedication. But as it's its own standalone thing, we have a lot more opportunity to bring on a lot more communities. And they don't have to be tied to Squeeze. There's just perks that come with it where we kind of like list the coins, like everything that essentially we bridge on Bridge. We create the tokens on Squeeze and make them accessible for trading, etc. And then we're also using the rewards to kind of pay them back to the Squeeze holders. So that's kind of the key thing there.
Okay, and talk me through this a little bit. We know like the large majority of retail traders are on Solana. And so like there's this massive opportunity to where when another blockchain is hot, we remember Binance would have these like 1 week pockets where it'd be really hot, or everything has these little pockets where it's super hot. And the fact of the matter is people don't want to bridge off Solana to go and trade these. They want to really, we should bring in these assets to where the retail is rather than bringing the retail to these assets, if that makes sense. Maybe walk me through, I guess, that opportunity that you guys see and how you're approaching it.
Yeah, no. So we've actually had quite a few teams reach out to us, and we're talking to some big ones behind the scenes right now. I'm not going to like name names or anything, just because I don't want to, piss them off or throw us off course from our discussions. But some large cap players just see volume has been fading week over week on Robinhood. That's kind of just the reality of it. And to your point, there's this huge rotation game. So what we're doing here is we're providing opportunity for these Robinhood native coins to tap into liquidity and distribution on other platforms. You can build up a secondary liquidity pool, and at the end of the day, it's going to create some extra volume because there are bots that will trade and maintain parity between the coins, which just increases your creator fees. But yeah, that's the huge thing there. All these teams see the volume fading on Robinhood. They do understand that it is a bit of a rotation game. We're seeing it with, as you guys brought up, Kate and some, they're getting their motion back. And people want to tap into that fun and that liquidity. And right now, this is kind of like the key way to do that.
How do we bridge that gap? Chill and I obviously go way back to trading in the early EVM days. And I remember everyone was trying to crack this chain fractionalization issue, right? We had protocols like Router, we had protocols like Wormhole, where it made it really easy to bridge, but again, like still extremely fragmented. Today, we see FOMO and a lot of the trading terminals kind of offering one venue to trade multiple different chains.
Mm-hmm.
What's been the holdup on this chain fractionalization thing? Like, why is not everything localized, tradable in one place? Because again, years ago we were talking about this. Like, we got to fix this issue of liquidity fragmentation. Still to this day, no one's really solved for it. Again, we're starting to see early signs of it with like Sunrise, even bridging equities. But like, why is this still a problem in the Big 26?
You got to remember that it's all competition based, right? Like all these chains are competitors. They all have their investors and their value propositions that they have to provide to their stakeholders. So I don't think anybody has the incentive right now to have that collaboration and that level of kind of like merging things. There are some solutions being built right now that kind of do, similar to what you're saying with FOMO, but like more chain agnostic, right? Where you're kind of in one platform directly accessible, it's like a middleman chain, I guess you could say, that has direct connections to all these things, because some people see that issue, and they want to connect the pieces and make it a central, I don't know, like a central liquidity funnel, right? I think we're getting there, and I think we will continue to progress towards it. I just think that the chains themselves are not incentivized to do that. They want the volume on their platform. They want their fees. Like Base wants their sequencer fees. Robinhood wants their fees. Solana wants their fees, and they don't want to give it up to each other. That's why there's even that kind of like reluctancy from them supporting each other, I guess you could say.
Yeah, no, this makes a ton of sense. Okay, so then what's kind of the running thesis for you guys then? We're creating a bridge here. How, walk me through the business mechanism here, how this is profitable, how this flows back to both the bridge token and the squeeze token. Yeah, so maybe just give me the full running thesis breakdown.
Yeah, so the key with launch pads is everybody wants a runner, right? Everyone wants healthy, strong coins, and it's hard to get people to kind of change their minds and try different platforms, etc. Like we're working with teams, we're working with the cabals and stuff, and trying to get them to deploy. But the one thing that we wanted to do was, then the reason we launched the coin is we wanted to generate fees at the end of the day and show the capabilities of the tech. So like some of the stuff that we're going to be doing now is pushing out, transparently, like showing people how much a creator would have made off of a coin like Bridge, how much the protocol's making, how that actually ties back into this squeeze because we are buying the token, right? So it created a whole new revenue model, and to the point that it wasn't necessarily just a squeeze ecosystem. It had a much wider or like breadth, I guess you could say is the term. There's just more opportunity to tap into where it's not siloed into squeeze. So it's generating a lot of fees for us as a token itself for squeeze, but then also for the bridge itself, we do take like we did it really cheap. We did like a 30 basis point fee. It's like 0.3%, right? It's tiny. We're not trying to take too much from communities. We want to be like the cheapest alternative for everybody, but at the same time, we want to collect those fees and just give them back to the bridge holders. So the bridge token itself is generating fees for squeeze, and then the bridge platform is generating fees for the bridge holders.
Got you. Okay, and then how does this work? We understand, like obviously Meteora sponsored the show. Again, we got to get the presented by Meteora fix down there, but Meteora sponsor of the show, good friends. We understand how their liquidity works, right? They earn fees by putting up your collateral as liquidity. People trade in and out of it. Of course, you facilitate it, you get fees, right? Very simply put, that's how it works. How does this actually work for you guys? Does someone have to have the asset provided as liquidity? Yeah, maybe walk me through the steps there.
Yeah, we tried to make it as easy as possible. That's like every team's concern, come up with the quote token. How much do I need for liquidity? How much do I need for this? The reality is you don't need really anything other than your own supply. So what you can do right now is on the bridge platform. And I don't know if you guys want me to pull it up or something. Just
yeah, if you could pull it up, that'd be great.
Yeah, just give me a second before you put me up there so I can make sure I'm on the
Yeah, we got you. We'll keep you anonymous for now. Unless you make another comment about me slipping up here.
All right, let me just switch over. All right, can you guys see my screen, my incognito here?
Yeah, we can see it. I'll pull up. Just you tell me when.
Yeah, go for it. I can't see what's going on over there, so you do your thing and let me know when I'm good.
All right, you're up.
You are good.
Yeah, so over here on bridgechange.io, you can literally just come and pick your assets as long as you have the token in your wallet. And here I have a bunch of squeeze. You can essentially just bridge it over, and you see the fee that we're taking kind of as you get the quote. I'm not going to bridge this all over, but you literally just pick your asset and swap it over. You can go both ways on this as well. Like we do have, I don't have any in this wallet, but we do have Ansem. We have Kete. We did Squeeze, of course, which was a big announcement. We're having fun. We put Pump on just for the memes.
Now, quick question on this. If I have, let's say I have Squeeze here on Robinhood, is there a way for me to become a LP, a liquidity provider on Robinhood chain, or is this something only exclusively available really on Solana? Like, can I earn fees by keeping it on Robinhood? Okay, talk to me.
So we've built this both ways. Today we did the announcement with Meteora, and we've been talking to their team about this. So we did announce Meteora today, but we also do have Uniswap live in here. So whichever side you're on, you can completely do it. And I'll get down there to the bottom. But once you bridge and you have your supply wherever you want it, if you go down, we've built this essentially directly into the platform itself. So this is the list of tokens. If you don't have the tokens, As I said, we do list all these tokens directly on Squeeze as kind of like that integration. So you can just click on trade and, you can go buy your Mensa as you wish. And then you could, essentially bridge back over or bridge to whatever chain you want. And then you can LP. And it's directly built in for Robinhood with Uniswap. And especially what we announced today was with Meteora. So yes, you could bridge over and you can just click the button. You can type in how much you want to deposit. And to that point, we did make sure it was kind of like quote token based because people don't always have liquidity that we want to put in. So it's all single sided in the sense that you just provide your supply. And you don't have to worry about it. It creates the curves for you. We don't have customization right now because we want it to be more safe. We don't want users to kind of wreck themselves, right? Put liquidity in on the wrong prices. So it's all preset to have kind of like that upward distribution model.
Okay, and talk to me about maybe the preset settings. Obviously, on Meteora specifically, you can create bins, how tight or wide you want the range of liquidity to be that you're providing. Do you do that through your platform, or is that too much complication for the average user?
We have preset to the widest bins, but of course it's customizable. So I just opened up like the Squeeze liquidity here. If I were to put some on Meteora, I can just set how much I want to put, like 1 million tokens. The default that we put is 1% over the current price. What that allows is for you to do a single-sided liquidity, and you're essentially like, long-term betting on the upward momentum of your token. You can increase that to set it as a higher like liquidity range, but the key here is that we set it 1% above the market value in order for you to be able to kind of pool your supply without having to provide a quote token, which just, adds liquidity from a single side, but it allows for like also better distribution and for users to essentially earn their fees. To your point of bins, we do have that built in. We do have it default set to kind of the biggest bin range, just so people can have like, they don't, automatically create price ceilings and stuff like that. But it is customizable and you can adjust it however you want. Got you.
Yeah, I mean, this stuff is more complicated than the average crypto user I think is familiar with. Maybe I want to even get a bit on your background. You got the Crack Dev name, right? So you got to live up to it a little bit. How long have you been building? I mean, going cross-chain is difficult because you have to know not only EVM, but also like, Solana. Like these are different languages that you have to learn, right? So it's not really easy just fork something from Ethereum to Solana necessarily. So maybe give me a quick lore and history on your background as a developer and like how you know how to provide liquidity, how you know how to create a bridge, all that good stuff.
No, I came into this space back in like 16 I started hearing about it. 17 I started playing around. I got really involved with kind of like ICOs at the time. And just through that, you kind of learned how to like gain liquidity and provide it, I guess you could say. And that like no matter what chain you're on, liquidity is essentially the same concept, right? It's a price determining pair. And as long as you kind of understand the depths of it, you're able to kind of, build it out as you see fit. Since 2017, I got into kind of like smart contracts later in like I guess you could say like 2020 and stuff when NFTs were popping off. Got really deep into kind of like research with some I guess some DAOs, Spearbit and stuff. And we did a lot of research in contract customization, and that's where I started learning. Like by nature, I had majored in accounting. I don't know if I mentioned that last time, but I also kind of minored in computer sciences. And then when I graduated school at the time, that's when I got really deep kind of into the tech side and crypto, and then it just kind of took over my life from that point on. And I became dev, as a lot of people call me. I've been involved with the various projects, I guess you could say. NFTs, smart contracts was the big kickstart. And I guess the liquidity side comes from the ICO era, right? Like, and then altcoins followed that. So I've done a lot of stuff with like Uniswap. I also hold like, big positions and like a big voter in a lot of these protocols, like especially with Uniswap as well. It was just plug and play. Like I just kind of learned as I went. With regards to kind of like language, it's a completely different playing field, to be honest with you. One of the tools that we do utilize, because I'm not like Solana native per se, like I am definitely an EVM guy. We do utilize, I think we mentioned it before, Doppler, which is a I guess they build out a lot of these smart contracts that allow us to kind of provide this customization. So they have all the features kind of built into contracts. They're heavily audited and funded. And it's just like a safer model than me having to crank out my own contracts. It's similar to what Banker uses. The key difference is like the math behind how you create your models. Because I have that deep ICO and altcoin history and working on like some substantially sized projects and doing liquidity management, I just understand the math and distribution models probably better than your average person or even your larger developer. Because devs are one thing with programmatic development, writing contracts, etc. But then to the point that I mentioned, I majored in accounting. I do have a CPA, a CFA. Like I'm at the end of the day, I'm also like a quant, you could say. Like I do a lot of investment stuff, and that's kind of how I was able to understand these things a lot better. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going off in a circle there, but
no, this is valuable stuff.
Yeah, so I am designated in CPA, CFA. So that's like accounting, like a professional as well as like a financial investor. Yeah, and that's really just created like a perfect deadly combo here, where not only do I quote unquote dev, especially in the EVM land where I can actually write a lot of contracts, but I really understand the math, the models. I do a lot of financial modeling for really big Web2 companies as well. That's like my bread and butter. So being able to apply it is like I don't know, it's not a triple threat because it's a double, but it gives me a lot of power, I guess you could say. And that's why I've created these advanced modes where I kind of I curate teams and I walk them through like what they're trying to achieve, so I can help them customize their curves to meet their needs and what they're trying to achieve with their community. And it's not just providing the liquidity, it's the initial launch. It's how you kind of structure everything for everybody.
Okay, you mentioned something I want to touch on. Then I saw somewhere someone talking about curated launches. You just now mentioned you're very into white gloving these services, curating custom curves and launches for people. Maybe walk me through the curated size of your launch pad. Is this something that I'm accurate in saying you guys have?
Yeah, like I mean, I'm sure you see it. I'm chronically online. Like I always say it. Like I'm not gonna get into the depth of it, but like in a roundabout way, I kind of like owe my life to like the internet, I guess is how I'll say it without going too deep. I'm sure people can kind of understand that, or some people do. But I really do owe my like entire self to this space. So you'll see like I'm in that Telegram, I'm on Twitter, I'm in the DMs. Like I'm talking to every single person that's interested or even has like a general question on this platform. And it's not that I'm curating everything. Like anybody can come here and click launch a coin, right? And we're seeing that on the feed. But at the same time, like the people that are scared, the people that are worried about things or backfire or whatever, I am spending every moment that I can to kind of talk them through it. Like we actually have a launch that's going to be happening tonight. And it's like a really passionate artist who has like a huge animation background, like a very big animation background. And he's going to be bringing like, his baby Onchain. So my goal is to make sure that happens in the most sustainable way for himself. And so he doesn't get exposed to some, pump and dump garbage that kills his project and, just, makes him walk away from the space. So we do allow it all, but at the same time, I'm genuinely always here to support however I can.
Copy that. Chill, I heard your mic come on, so I'm not sure if you had a question. If not, though, I'll keep going.
No, keep riffing. Keep riffing. You're good.
Cool. You also mentioned very early on, Chill said, like the relationships you have. We saw Mr. Waka, Mr. Flocka in the comments. You mentioned, you vote on a lot of the Uniswap proposals. Of course, Uniswap's doing great things. You made the relationship with Meteora. What's kind of your go-to-market strategy here? You said a lot of people don't have interest in creating a bridge because they want to support their own local chain. You said that's not really a thing for you guys. You can make this bridge for the, partially that reason. So maybe walk me through your relationships, the BD you're doing to kind of make this bridge come to life, and why it's more viable for you guys rather than someone like Jupiter is creating Gum as their cross-chain bridge, or maybe a Sunrise or Wormhole or whatever it might be.
Yeah, no, I guess it comes down to literally networking, right? Cabals and stuff like that, and who you have kind of on your side. For the past like 2 years, I've probably built for built and supported majority of the big runners that you've seen one way or another behind the scenes. And as a result, I have like deep connections with these kind of cabals and KOLs, where I'm also being very selective on who I bring on board, just because I know how those things may end. So by curating the right group of people, and this is a lot of curation, but I'm just very, I like to play it safe. I've seen how this space goes wrong. I've seen how those people can act. So we really try to filter through the best of the best and bring them on board. Like Comet is one of the guys that, we have like actually on our team. He's like an ambassador. He has an equity stake in the company. I don't want to go too deep into his background, but he has like very high morals, ethics, etc. And through those people like Comet, we're, having these discussions with these teams, not going to name names, but they want access to what we're building and providing at the end of the day, because there really there's not too many solutions out there, especially for these meme coins and stuff. Like Sunrise is doing it great, but they're also curating things, right? Like it's not like as far as I know, I don't think it's an open playing field for everybody to participate. Whereas, if you have interest here, we create your bridge, your mesh, and you can just kind of come and do your thing with your community.
Yeah, got you. You also mentioned just now, equity stake in the company. Ongoing conversation we've been having for the last year now is like, how should we look at tokens in terms of value? And of course, MetaDAO has kind of done this futarchy governance ownership model where IP is owned by the holders, as well as like treasury flows to the treasury that's also owned by holders. We see Venice recently got into a lot of hot water for selling 1% of their equity at like $1 billion valuation or something. And so people are trying to figure out like, how as token holders should we view equity and this equity conversation? Because for the longest time, token holders have felt like second-class citizens to equity, when we kind of want that to change, right? You mentioned there was an equity component to this business. How do you guys value token holders, I guess, in accordance to equity holders?
Yeah, so I think our chart kind of speaks for itself. And if you look at the deployer and the creator wallet, okay, sorry, 2 steps to this. One, I don't think that equity component for token holders is solved, and I don't think it'll be solved soon, right? Like we almost had the Clarity Act, it's still in discussions, but there's really no definitive answer. So no one wants to promise anything from like an investor equity standpoint, right? And then you're like in selling unregistered securities and all kinds of shit like that. Right. And that's not necessarily our place of business. So yes, as a company, we do have like an entity made, and there are stakeholders in that entity. And, you've seen some of them. You just heard me mention another one. It's those big players behind the scenes that kind of help us run the company itself. But to that point, what I was kind of alluding to with the wallets, we are 100% like transparent with everything that we are doing with the capital. So it's not that we're like offering it as a dividend, quote unquote, but we're transparently parking all that liquidity in the chart and, showing people how we're giving the money in a way back to them, right? Like, even though you're not necessarily getting a direct dividend, us parking 100%, and then right now we're doing 120% of the fees generated are going into the chart. And that's just because we're adding from our pockets just to fuel the fire even more. It's all going into the chart. And the whole goal at the end is that we're going to have a lot of rewards that we can distribute out to our holders. And keep that just transparent with everybody. Like, we can't do the whole unregistered securities scare. We don't want to shoot ourselves in the foot. We don't want to go to prison. But at the end of the day, we have openly committed what we're providing back into the chart, into building liquidity positions. And then eventually we're going to distribute this as rewards and kind of like make it rain down on the community and reward them for participation.
Do you have any numbers on that you could talk us through?
Yeah, like, I mean, I don't want to click around too many places right now, but like this is one of the key platform wallets. This is actually the creator wallet. And you can see like this has generated like, this is of course inflated in the sense it's based on token values, right? But in this wallet alone, we've probably put back, I think it's like $15,000 worth of creator fees on the Squeeze token itself back into the chart. And if you were to like put this wallet up on Dex Tools, for example, you would see that it's just constantly hammering buys. It's like it's just twapping as much as it can.
Twaps.
Yes, exactly. The uni twap, the twappa is in play as we discussed last time. So the TWAPA is constantly firing, and it's bigger on the protocol side as well. I'm not going to switch to that tab because it will have my Gmail and my picture and my docs and stuff. But that number, actually, I wish.
Here, you want me to take you down real quick?
Yeah, take me down for 1 second, just because I do want to kind of pull it up in a way, and I just want to see.
I got you down, by the way.
All right, perfect. I'm just going to switch over here.
I like that.
Get to the TWAPA.
I mean, worst case scenario, maybe I'll message you guys a screenshot of the other wallet in TG for you guys to kind of share and pin up. But I'll show you the balance there. And the balance there is even more significant because the protocol side is earning from not just the squeeze token, but all tokens, right? So what we wanted to show holders was
the screenshot sound in the background.
Not sus at all.
It's like when you're just hanging out and you actually have the flash on, it just flashes a picture of like someone's feet or something.
Yeah, cotton 4K.
Exactly.
All right, I'm just gonna
Chill, can you pull it up?
Yeah.
I got you.
Pull that up. I'll switch back over to my screen here, so you guys can talk about that for a second. But so we've essentially put 15K from the creator fee wallet, and then like another 17, I want to say 17, 18, 19, something like that. I'm honestly losing track. I do have a dashboard, but yeah, that's all gone back into the chart and then some. So, and what I'm getting at is the reason why that wallet is so much bigger is because we launched that bridge token, right? It's generating, the coins themselves generate so much revenue for the protocol, and we're transparently putting it all back in. Additionally, because we're earning both sides of the tokens, when we have these curated launches that are more sustainable, we can actually retain the coin itself and use that as a reward model. So that wallet itself, is up there in that 170 or whatever it's at right now, in terms of like valuation, right? That's not like purely liquid, fully diluted or whatever. But those are the rewards that we get to pass off. One, the quotes. I'm sure you in that screenshot, you could probably see the Solana balance itself is probably like 5K just from the fees that we generated very recently from the bridge launch, which is all kind of being twapped back into the chart itself. And then we also earned the bridge token, which right now we've kind of earned like, I want to say like 2.5% or something like that we want to distribute as rewards to the squeeze community and the holders and participants. So yeah, I guess it's, we're doing our best to be transparent. We're committing to what we're committing to, but we can't describe it as investments and dividends and all that crazy stuff. Like even some of the ways that I think people are staging V4 hooks as like dividend models and stuff like that, I only think that's going to end up hurting you if you have extreme success down the road.
Do you think that that would classify as a security? Like let's say one of these takes off, and could they get in hot securities water for classifying V4 hooks as a dividend model?
Yes, for sure. I've so to your point, you see kind of my network. My legal team actually represents Mark Cuban in Texas.
And you're phoning them up saying, "Yo, crack down on these guys right now."
No, we have these discussions because at the end of the day, I have stakeholders. I have celebrities on board and participants that I can't put them in a hot seat. I don't want to put myself in a hot seat. I have my professional designations, right? I'm not your average person from like a knowledge standpoint, right? I can't just claim that I was unaware or uneducated on the matter when I do have professional designations in these subjects.
The good old-fashioned ignorance
exactly.
plea.
I can't do that. So for me, it's constantly calling up these people, and yeah, even like offering the stock pairs was a little bit of a nightmare for me. And as a result of that, we had to delay it a little bit just because I was like, I rushed to it and I had it ready to go. I just wasn't comfortable releasing that until I had the legal check to proceed. And then, yeah, it comes down to how you classify those rewards. Like if I distribute a quote token, a stock, that's borderline, and it also depends on how you sell it, right? If I sold it as a dividend, yeah, it would put me in hot water and it would make the perception of squeeze token itself being a security. But if I use those fees to buy back the squeeze token, I'm indirectly parking liquidity in for holders. So if you're in there for the long term, your floor price just kind of keeps building, right? It's not a direct contribution to your wallet, but it is it is benefiting you directly in the sense that, you know, if you were to ever sell, there's more liquidity in that pool, as well as the prices, you know, going up from the buys. So it's kind of like a roundabout way. And then the reason we're trying to come up with different models for how we end up distributing the tokens, like we're not offering it as a dividend. It's going to be like participation based. And I don't know if you guys have my screen here, but we do have like leaderboards set up, and we are building out like all these hold times, how many coins you're deploying. It's more participation based in the ecosystem rather than benefits of being a holder. There is like a farming element to it where you're kind of like earning what you're being distributed rather
Are these
than
points? Are these points I'm seeing?
Yeah, so it is. There's a whole gamification system with badges and levels and stuff that we're going to be rolling out in the near future. So that's a little bit sneak peek. But this right now is just quantity based, where we're starting to track certain metrics and put them on the board for people to see, and like, you know, kind of incentivize people to start participating. Like, if you've been around in this space and you see something like this, you know it's time to start farming, right? Like, get your referrals out, get people deploying coins under your referral, et cetera, and you're going to end up being rewarded. And the key here is like we're very transparent. Everything's on chain. Like, everybody can see what we're doing with the coins, the fees. There's no bullshit, right? Like, we're not just promising things and not fulfilling them. I think everything and anything that I've brought up, said, mentioned is just a reality, is a fact, has come to fruition. And that's how we want to uphold ourselves to kind of like the higher standard.
And a little bit more on this. Crypto Jones has a great question here in the comments. He said, sounds like you're committed to the token. Of course, you've done buybacks, and you've also mentioned on top of that, we've done like a 15-20% additional buybacks out of our own pocket. He goes, how do you plan on supporting yourself eventually? And I guess to even further add onto this question, we see launch pads and a lot of crypto products in this case are very high margin businesses, right? You kind of just add basis point fees, high margin businesses. How do you kind of give some of that back to the community? And of course, at this rate, you're doing it in a big way, plus taking out of your own pocket. How do you, number one, become sustainable? And then number two, with that, you mentioned equity investors or people that hold equity in the company. Have you sold equity? Have you done a round, fundraising round, or what does that look like?
No, we're not looking for investors. We're not interested. I've flat out kind of refused a bunch of VCs at this point. We're just not interested. I'm going to be honest with you. We are, you know, when you hear someone came from 2016, 2017 ETH mining, you know, has these Uniswap positions, power and votes, etc. I don't really give a shit. We do have the expectation that if we catch the momentum, and that's what the big deal here is with the partners, if we do catch momentum, there is a guaranteed cap on 50% of the fees generated at a certain point of volume is dedicated to the token. And then there's like a team war chest that starts to build. But that's kind of ways away from happening. But eventually, you know, once you scale to a certain point, then yeah, there is, you know, a ridiculous margin where the payback and reward is going to be more than substantial on just retaining 50% of the fees. And that's kind of what we've listed out in our docs. We've just transparently on chain been pissing away 120% right now, just to prove a point. And, you know, we really, we do have size. We have people with size behind us. Like, it's a little different for us, I guess you could say.
Okay, sure. I mean, yeah, you guys are in a large sense loss leaders at the moment, kind of just, yeah, taking that hit to, I guess, prove your point, like you mentioned. And so the sustainability question does become interesting. So there's no like runway issues that you guys are facing?
Oh, hell no.
Okay.
No.
Well, what we need, I think, is a kimchi style post where you're just flexing how rich you are, and then people won't have to worry about runway.
Yeah, I mean, also the cost of these things, I think people are just not transparent, right? Like, you know, like the cost of running one of these platforms is not that much. I'm just going to be honest. Like, between your APIs, your hosting, like, if you're like, I'm building this all myself, I don't have to pay anybody anything. Like, that's the power of who we are behind the scenes. So we're doing this out of like passion. It doesn't cost much to host these things, pay the API bills. Like, it's not a substantial amount of money at all to us. Well,
this is the exact reason why it kind of makes me sick to see all these launch pads doing the exact same thing, forking each other, and then giving no support to its community and the people that are launching through them, because it's like, it's such a high margin business. And how come we're not supporting? How come we're not doing proper education for the founders that are launching on our platform? How come we're not investing into resources for those developers and creating like a thriving developer ecosystem? How come we're not building a scouting program and like pipeline and developing a funnel further? It just like doesn't make sense when you're in a high margin business like this to be just taking so much of that.
It comes back to what our original discussion was with the chains. A lot of these people do have these rounds. They have their private investors, or they end up selling out to VCs and taking raises before. Like, I'm sure a lot of the big players right now that are thriving have already taken capital under their wing, whether or not they're allowed to talk about it or will talk about it. It's the same shit as the chains, and pardon my language there, but everybody has stakeholders, and that's why we're rejecting capital as much as we can. Our stakeholders are our community. Like, you guys talk about the OG days and like 21 and stuff like that. If you're in our community, that's the vibe. Like, it's just, we want to return to that good stuff. Like, it's too much of the noise, too much of the extraction fueling VC pockets. Whether it's a chain or a platform, it's the same incentive model and the same sellout behavior that we're trying to get away from and show people that it doesn't have to be that way. The margin on this is ridiculous. Like, it's probably 98% at this point. Like,
jeez.
You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't, there's no benefit to extracting all of that other than like taking your petty cash grab and walking away from the space. And that's kind of what we saw with Noxa, right? Like, they got their freaking bag and they walked. They didn't need that shit. Like, they took it and ran. But if you're here to like drive a change and kind of change the norms and, I said it last time, the broken fallacies and etc., you're going to do it properly, and you're going to piss that money back in and show people that you're truly committed to what you're building. And that's our main objective. Like, we really want to change this space, put the nail in the coffin, have people wake up and start to see you can get a lot more fees from, these other platforms. And it doesn't even have to be us. There's some others that are also doing it, but we're very clearly, transparently on chain, making a big statement with our kind of liquidity, with our fees and everything, that we're trying to change it. We want to reward the people that are participating, the holders, everybody. And I kind of sound like a broken record there, and maybe it's too much passion, but it's like, we really have to return to how things were before kind of like those VC injections and stuff. And that also makes it hard, right? Like, a lot of these people are in bed with each other at the end of the day. It's kind of a few select VCs that are propping up the majority of the ecosystems cross chain, right? So they're all incentivized to push whatever they're pushing. They own the influencers, they own everybody. And that's our key philosophy here. It's really returning back to the good stuff, putting the money back into people's hands, because the margins are ridiculous. We don't need it. That's originally what DeFi was, right? Like, cycle that liquidity, put it back into the people's hands, give them ways to earn yield, etc. And we're doing that in our own ways, starting off with the buybacks, and then eventually like these leaderboards and participation mechanisms for further distribution, where you're kind of earning you're participating and earning what you're receiving. Or I guess that's how I'll put it, without trying to phrase it in like some weird dividend model that it's not.
I guess with this, we've taken a lot of your time here, and I appreciate it. I want to kind of start gearing towards like roadmap and where you're headed next. We talked about Squeeze, we talked about Bridge. What's like focus number one, go to market, making these products both extremely successful, and then also like where do we go from here?
Right now it's onboarding. Right now we're trying to get as many teams as possible. Between the Bridge and Squeeze, we're having a lot of good discussions. Like I mentioned, we're having curated launches that are starting to pop up. There's another one today or tonight. We're really just going balls to the wall here, like one-to-one onboarding, getting people to show their profits, their fees, how much more they're earning than what they would have earned elsewhere. It's really a matter of kind of like distributing the message, not like, not distributing the token, but just showing people the power of it. And, we've started to see some of it. Like we all talk about Waka here, but if you go to his Twitter feed, it's you see him participating, you see him starting to engage in the sense that we want to distribute the bigger message to people, and just make awareness a thing while we go to like, one-to-one conversations and bring them on as best as we can. And then, just a lot more tech. Like we have a lot of fun things coming up. Like I don't want to spoil it because I don't want people to run with our ideas. But like if I just go to Solana here in like our custom launch mode, I'll just show you guys. Sorry, I gotta go to advanced mode. But if I go to like our new model here, and we just put it up recently, we haven't even kind of like advertised it or anything yet. We have a whole bunch of videos, but what we're changing here is the quotes. Like on Solana itself, I think we're gonna have a big runway here where we do have like a lot of the stock pairs, and we have some good catalyst events happening through Sunrise, where we're gonna have some good exposure and opportunity here in the next week to really try and make a bang and seize some market share with like a really good coin, right?
You want to care to elaborate on that a little bit, or?
I'm not going to go too far because I don't want anyone to like, go crazy with the idea per se, but yeah, there is a big Sunrise launch happening this week, right?
And that's Take Two.
So yeah,
about Take Two. Okay.
Yeah. So we're going to do some fun with that, and that's why we've built in these stock pairs, and they're like literally ready to go. We're going to expand the list very shortly, and once Take Two comes out, that's where we're going to really have some fun. And we're going to do our best to make a dent, make a splash, get all the right KOLs pushing it. Yeah.
Well, I got to give a cheeky little shout here because Thursday we do have Sunrise coming on to talk about that Take Two launch. So, yeah, maybe
awesome.
We'll give a special shout to you if it makes sense.
Yeah, hopefully we, if things go well and everything's timed properly, maybe we'll, maybe we'll be on the radar at that time, right? Like it just. We'll see how it goes. Nice. But yeah, this is fully built in right now. You can launch with the SPY, right, as a pair. And yeah, that's going to expand. We just put up the one just to show that we're there. This is kind of live. We did some tests. We're working on kind of like more of the DEX stuff because as you build out these custom models, right, not everybody supports them right away. So these coins are routable. You can trade them through Jupiter. You could trade them through your trading bots. But at the end of the day, the DEXs kind of look weird. So we're also building out our own support in terms of like math and calculating on-chain data so people can see like, proper market caps and things like that, because it takes a lot of time for these DEXs to catch up. Like we saw it with the stock pairs started on Robinhood. All the data was messed up. Market caps were through the roof. Buy bots weren't even picking up stocks, etc. And we just foresee the exact same thing happening on Solana.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I think that does it for me. Chill. You got any last minute tidbits?
No, I think this was like super in depth. I think this gave us a lot to chew on. Just kind of giving us some forward looking thoughts, some things that are coming down the pipe, but also kind of looking at where you guys came, what you guys are doing now, and how you're positioning yourself from. Like I would say, I've been saying on this stream, from a spiritual standpoint. Let me stop. From one thing I loved about you guys initially was the community aspect, and that's one of my favorite things that you mentioned today was just kind of going back to that old, 2023 EVM mainnet vibe. We're all just chilling in the group chat. Like it almost Solana almost, you needed to make money in order to evangelize, but like back then you didn't really need that at first. You just needed a good idea. You just needed whether it was a good developer, a good idea, or a good protocol that someone felt connected to, that someone felt passionate about. Like they then evangelize and rally around that particular team or that particular developer. So really happy to see that's happening with you, and excited to see where the community can push you going forward. I mean, so it seems like you guys are headed towards some amazing stuff already. So appreciate you coming on today, Crack Dev.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you guys saying that. Like I see the community's kind of hyped, right? Like it's not me. I'm just one guy that's doing everything I humanly can for everybody else, is the way I kind of put it. If you look back, if you actually search through my tweets and search the quote, all of me for all of you, I've been saying that shit since who knows when, 23, 24. It's just who I am as a person. And I'm just proud and happy to have a community behind me that sees that and appreciates it more than anything. Even you kind of gassing up our community right now, it's great. I'm glad people are seeing what we're trying to do. They see the fun that we're bringing, and yeah, just really appreciate what you guys are saying, giving us the opportunity to come up here. And thanks.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. Well, like I said, we got oh my gosh.
I love this video. Okay, wait, what's the lore here? Okay, yeah. So you mentioned you got this network, Waka Flocka here. Again, my favorite video of Waka Flocka. It's hilarious. Just like perpetually lives in my head rent free. How do you know Waka Flocka Flame? It's just like so side quest, so side questy.
Sorry, yeah, this video kills me every time because we made a post from his account and like we helped him write it and stuff way back when. It's like you're throwing up gang signs and we're throwing up the CA in sign, like like you're signing like contract addresses and stuff like that. But this is actually one of his friends. Like he still talks to this lady to this day. He helped her like make a documentary and stuff on sign language. Like that's who Waka is as a person. Like just the most genuine man that I've probably met from that standpoint, like as a celebrity. Like he is the most wholesome, humble guy I've kind of met. The background I would say is like, to the point that I come from that quant background, and I've kind of done some good development work for various people. His management was very connected to me, I guess you could say. They went with the approach about asking for forgiveness rather than, consulting, and they got themselves in a little bit of shitstorm. And I was kind of that first person they reached out to. It's unfortunate that it was after the fact, but, first person they came to with questions and how to fix things and make things right for people. That was kind of me. And that's just because I have that network already just from doing like, financial stuff, modeling, even just building things for these people behind the scenes. Like I've done a lot of Web 2, music distribution platforms, like all kinds of shit that you could probably imagine. I've built out for them. I still do, like, FaceTimes me anytime he's working on something, like or involved in something, needs some consulting, needs some support, advice, whatever it is. I've kind of just been a crutch for a few of these people at this point. And especially as a lot of people in crypto have shown their true colors. And, maybe we can get Waka on the show one day in the near future. But, I've, without a doubt, I think anybody would say that I'm a man of my word. And I've proven myself time and time again that I only have the best and most genuine interests, not just for the person I'm helping, but for the people involved, like all the stakeholders. So, yeah, I just became a go-to person for a few of these people. And they reached out to me and I got involved and helped them. And now it's become, I guess, a bigger relationship.
Let's go. I love it. You mentioned it's easier to ask forgiveness than permission, or they went for the asking forgiveness rather than permission quote. That was actually that was my high school yearbook quote. It's easier to ask forgiveness than permission. Yeah. Which maybe isn't true, but it felt funny. So nonetheless.
No common mouths in the yearbook quotes, I guess. Okay.
Yeah, I guess not. Well, yeah, okay. You're done. You're done.
No, I had to do it. Sorry, I apologize. See, I was asking for forgiveness as well.
It's all right. Crack Dev, your name in general can be misinterpreted as well. So let's just not. We don't have to go there for Crack Dev. Okay. If you want to talk about you getting cracked and just
the bio.
Wait a minute.
My Twitter bio.
Wait a minute.
Wait. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's a completely different direction. Holy shit.
Okay.
I wasn't going. I thought you were gonna call me like a junkie or something, but Jesus,
you can do that too. Well, we're talking about.
Well, it's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure, an absolute pleasure.
Don wants to crack Dev, I guess. Jeez,
I guess so. Guilty. All right, we'll see you, brother.
Thanks for having me. Have a good one.
All right. Tom's mind in the gutter. He's perfect for the squeeze TG.
I'm trying to put up some defense here, bro. I'm just getting. Look, you make one mistake, you falter, take one misstep, and all of a sudden the whole world's against you, bro. And I'm just trying to rectify it. And if I have to throw some shots, up at Crack Dev and get the attention off me, it's just what's got to happen. Unfortunately, wrong place, wrong time.
Amazing interview, Pepe. Yeah, for sure. Yo, shout out, Pepe, man. Love what you're building for the Discord, by the way.
Oh yeah, bro. Shout out Pepe. Oh shoot, you know what? With that being said, Crack Dev, you're still back there listening. Pepe asked somewhere if you guys are hiring or you're doing internships. Yeah. So I'm not sure if you're in the private chat or you want to pop on, just put a word on that.
Yeah, he's also a fellow builder. He's a fellow builder. Dude's been building out some solid stuff. So definitely give him
Oh, here, I'm
Said,
gonna
pull
pull
me
my
up.
boy up.
Bet.
All right.
Bet.
Oh yeah, awesome. No, dude, we're totally open. Like the way I started in crypto was shit you not. I was like a moderator in a Discord server for Tom Crown, like like OG YouTuber guys, DIY investing. Like I started off rolling up my fucking sleeves and just getting in there. Like I wasn't paid shit. I just showed up. I worked my ass off, and that just created all the opportunities in the world for me to create something for myself.
Alpha.
And that's how crypto works. Like if you show up, like the fact that he said internship is just like the coolest thing. Because yeah, if you show up asking for paydays, chances are I'm ignoring you. Chances are I just, I'm not interested. But if you show up with ideas you want to work, hell yeah, man, hit me up in the DMs and we'll definitely bring you on and we'll find you something to do. And we'll find a way for that to kind of convert for yourself, whether it's, you building things, whether it's like us helping you launch something and providing you support. Like there is a way that you will be incentivized to be a participant in our ecosystem. And yeah, like it's not like I'm hiring people, but we do have like people in the community, and I'll toss them what I can when I can, just to like support them. And then whenever opportunities arise, I give those out to those people. Like I'm only one person. I have my commitments, but there's a lot of opportunity in this space. And sometimes you just need to show your worth to someone that has all those opportunities kind of at their door, and they can kind of distribute them out to you. So for sure.
This is so much alpha. I don't understand why people miss this to this day. It's like also one reason why it's so important to build like that personal branding, I feel like. But it just comes back to the notion, just like provide value until you're invaluable, right? Like do something for somebody that is going to require them to keep you on board because of how much value you've brought. I think it's just like, it just seems so obvious, but no one's willing to put in the work for free, get their hands dirty, roll up their sleeves when it's inconvenient to them or it's going to be a challenge and difficult. But it's like so immensely valuable. I would do it right now. If MCG ended and I had nothing else to do, I would find the protocol that I'm most passionate for, and I'd work my ass off until they figured out that the value I'm going to bring them is more valuable than anything that they could actually physically pay me, and I'm more valuable to keep around than let go. And it just seems like people miss this notion way too often.
Yeah, no, it just became too monetary, right? Like I'm not going to say extraction, but everybody just sees money signs in this space and thinks that's how it goes, and acts entitled or whatever the case may be. But yeah, roll up your sleeves, put in that work, and you're good. There's more people in this space that have, you guys talk about Poor Goat all the time. He was no one until Black Bolt started, right? Like he bag worked his ass off and got the opportunity of a lifetime. He didn't get paid to do that. He worked his butt off and he got his opportunity, and now he's where he's at. And that's how it usually goes. That's how it went for me. That's how it's going to go for a lot of the people that see success. Sure, the select few will get lucky, hit a lick, and walk away, but that's not for the majority. So yeah, get to work.
Let's go. Someone create an inspirational TikTok edit from that little monologue there. Love it. All right. Well then, I guess with that, Crack Dev, we will actually leave you this time.
All right. Thank you guys. Have a good one.
Appreciate you, brother.
All right. There we go. Last words from Chill. You want to take it for a second? I got to rip the bathroom, and then got a couple more things.
Yeah. I'll take it. All right, guys. So that was the interview with Squeeze. Honestly, again, amazing platform, amazing community, amazing dev, and constantly impressed every time they come on by what I hear from them. So just interested to see how things develop here. I've told you guys this, I believe it was last week during one of the streams. We're still at the beginning of a bull market. Technically we still have an entire bull market ahead of us. So there's so much opportunity ahead, and it's so nice to see everyone positioning themselves in such a way. And one of the things that I feel like is really important for any launchpad is distribution. And talking about his network, we see kind of the distribution potential that they have. And so I'm very interested to see where that goes, and I'll be keeping close watch on the platform. I know he said he had a few launches coming up as well. So yeah, I'm just going to keep an eye on things as time moves on. Real quick, some general macro thoughts. I told you guys on Friday that the overall goal, right, is the green box, right? Sub 60K. We've been preaching that for, basically the better half of like, what's this? July 21st. So the better half of like 2 weeks. We've been talking about this sub 60K level. Now, I did tell you guys that I'm looking at two different scenarios here. The first scenario is we just rip the band-aid off and we just go straight to sub 60K levels, or we didn't get a chance to actually sweep that liquidity. We didn't get a chance to sweep that liquidity above 67.2K. So I told you guys that I'm still going to hold out for 67.2K. I'm still going to leave the door open for that possibility. And I told you guys the other thing that I'll watch to that end is for an SFP to form on the daily. Now, we did form that SFP on the daily. In fact, there was another one that also formed here on the 8-hour, just below that green line. So we got a couple SFPs. We swept some liquidity to the downside. So could we potentially now go on a run, above 60K, above 67K, sweep that liquidity above? Could we then do that and then potentially go for the bottom afterward? Let's see. That's essentially what I'm looking at. But I'm going to slide some of this stuff over a little bit towards the end of August. I'm still looking for that August bottom, but it looks like we're taking a little bit of time here to sweep this liquidity above 67K. So with the SFPs that we now have, let's see if we get a nice little bounce into the red zone, sweep the liquidity before nuking it sub 60K, and that would be the goal here. And honestly, if we end, a lot of people don't think we go sub 60K. Not a lot of people. There are a few people that say that either A, we don't go sub 60K, we stay above 60K, and then we eventually rip. And there are some people that are on the complete opposite end, where they're like, all right, we're going sub 50s, we're going sub 45, right? I'm of the mindset, same thing that we've been calling, nice sub 60K, maybe 55K at most, and then we rip higher. So we're setting ourselves up beautifully for the next run up here. We don't know what that means on chain, but if we have any indication, we know where the activity will be. We know new ecosystems are popping off. And I also want to talk a little bit on that point. I want to talk a little bit about a tweet from friend of the show, Cryptic. I'm sure you guys might know Cryptic, right? He's a great follow, good guy, good trader, go-to trader. If you scroll down, there's this tweet that he put out just yesterday where he says, natural liquidity flow is something that just can't be escaped. Chain A produces a runner and takes all the liquidity, aka Robinhood Cash Cat. Chain B gets drained and plays look very cheap in comparison, aka Solana on-chain tokens. R&R is skewed and liquidity rotates back. Chain A looks cheap again, rotate, or rather repeat. So he's calling for this rotation back to Solana. One moment. I had to sneeze real quick. My bad. So he's calling for a rotation back to Solana on chain. And he's looking at some things. I think there was Triple T was a meme that was there that he's been in Triple T, and shout out him. He's been bull posting that since 1.5 mil, and it cracked, I believe, like 25 mil or something like that.
Are we talking about Triple T? That tongue
yeah.
Sahur?
Yeah.
My favorite coin. If you know, you know, guys.
If you know, you know. Oh my God.
Joking,
you know. But yeah, I mean, I'm still personally, I still think there's a ton of excitement on Robinhood. You even heard the Squeeze Dev mention that, they've noticed a reduction in volume, a reduction in activity. That's where Squeeze hops in to eat from both sides. Jesus, Dom, you need to stop.
You said it.
Yo. That's crazy.
I don't know about who's eating from both sides, but okay.
Well, that being said, I'm still not sure of a rotation back to Solana. I mean, obviously there's still going to be things that pop off, right? Cred is still really, really nice of a play, did well post launch. Obviously Cakecoin did really well after its launch, but not sure if we get this kind of like flush of liquidity running back to Solana. What I am seeing on Robinhood is there's not really like much appetite for utility. There's more so appetite for tokens with lore. So I'm seeing a lot of like lore tokens, such as like the wallets of the world. We talked about Frong as well. I wonder if we got that post up yet, but on Friday, we actually spoke about Frong on Friday. At the end of stream, I broke down 3 tokens that I'm looking at. 2 of them 2x'd. Oh, I'm sorry. All of them went up. 2 of them 2x'd, and Frong is now continuing on. So if you guys, if you guys did the research and you looked into that, you probably would have ate off that particular call. But regardless, there's still plenty of opportunity, but a lot of these kind of lore tokens are kind of attracting more attention. Frong was deployed by the lead product design at Uniswap. Been holding Frong, yes sir, good work. I'm thinking we go higher. I'm not even gonna lie, I'm thinking we go higher. So there's Frong wallet. Obviously, we talked about the connections to the Robinhood team themselves.
Is that one cooking?
There's also it's kind of chilled. It's holding really well. But it hasn't like popped off yet. Vlad posted, he made a tweet talking about how the Robinhood team hasn't deployed any tokens. So it kind of shook some people out, but I think I'm still gonna hold to my guns here, with that being a good, something good from a lore perspective. Thanks to the MCG Discord.
Cash Cat's also looking good too. I mean,
yes. I posted about Cash Cat over the weekend, and I'm happy to. Let me actually just pull up that chart real quick, because that chart is looking fantissimo.
Remember, guys, the other stream we talked about new chains. You have these buckets to fill out, right? You have who's going to be the leading launch pad, right? Who's going to be the leading, AMM? Who's going to be the leading, maybe NFT collection on that chain? Who's going to be the leading? And you got all these buckets to fill off. It's not very difficult to find them. You just look at what's already popular in other chains and start applying to the new chain. Cash Cat is clearly like the meme of Robinhood, right? So like that's one of those buckets. But go ahead, Jill.
I'm actually about to make a tweet right now while we're on stream. This is actually pretty nice. I called out this Head and Shoulders. I mean, look, I told you guys on Robinhood, I'm not even like going to be like super like TA heavy on these entries. I'm just going to use a fib to make sure I'm measuring out where visibly on the chart is the R&R. Between the 0.886, the 0.786, between these two levels is a great buy zone. And that's what I outlined on a tweet that I posted yesterday. I'm like, look, this is like probably one of the cleanest R&R setups that you have. And now we're up 55% since that post.
I mean, look, it doesn't take a wizard to look at this and just see how beautiful the setup is. You clearly had a deep retracement on a leading asset. You had multiple tests down at the bottom of the range, and now you're clearly breaking out of that trend. I mean, simply put, it's a really nice looking technical setup.
Yeah, just wonderful TA setup. A lot of people talk about, oh, well, TA doesn't work on meme coins, blah, blah, blah. Anything with enough attention and volume will work with TA. All you need is just for it to cross that certain chasm in terms of like attention and volume, for it to be kind of like, for it to hold its weight when it comes to a TA, from a TA standpoint.
What does the squeeze chart look like?
Let's
but yeah, Cash Cat looks really good. Again, you guys know we're not meme people on the show. I'm specifically like not a meme person whatsoever, but when you fill out that bucket for Robinhood, chill is. But when you fill out that bucket for Robinhood, this is clearly the leading meme. You don't have to mid curve it. Just don't mid curve it. You look at a chart like this, you buy in deep value, and of course, value is subjective in this case. But buy in deep value territory, and a breakout like this can easily trade this thing higher if Robinhood persists.
Let me see here, Dom. It's raining, and I think I might be. You can hear me, okay, right?
I can hear you, okay, chill. But if you know it's raining for you, then you can determine what is happening to me here too.
Yeah, I'm kind of like.
We need an office, chill. We need to get an MCG office, to be honest.
To be honest, yeah. To be honest, so guys, it's storming where I'm at. Dom's not too far away, and likely it's going to be storming if by
it is. I mean, it obviously is. Yeah. We are like as close as you can get to each other.
literally.
Squeeze chart looks good, man. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, again, I mean, kind of same thing you can attribute to. It had this big initial run up. It's kind of had this time to reset. And you can definitely see, like, look at the volatility here, right? Highly volatile. Volatility is slowly starting to subdue a little bit, and the trend is going upwards. So again, kind of this lack of sellers in the market with the continuous TWAPs that they were talking about is leading to very nice price action on this, to be honest. Sub 1 million. 500K in liquidity, though. That's what you want to pay attention to. I mean, 500K in liquidity and a 930K market cap. That's like, I mean, take a pre-money valuation. That's closer to 500K, right? And I'm not sure how the liquidity mechanism works on here. If this is locked, if this can be pooled, like what exactly that looks like. But yeah, liquidity to market cap's insane here. And there is, now even to that point, there can be too much liquidity. Like, chill, I'm sure you can think back to the ETH days. Liquidity was always a big thing, but and when someone would fund a lot of initial liquidity in a project, you typically say, okay, this is a serious team. They're already starting with $1 million, $2 million in the liquidity pool. It's probably something real. Like, this is something we should pay attention to. And again, this is before bonding curve. This is before pump fund. So you actually have to seed your own liquidity. There was this inverse effect where too much liquidity actually put like kind of a ceiling on your project, because just like we know green candles are the best marketing and all the buys in the world would move the price. Now, in this case, 500K is not, not crazy, but that's a really insane liquidity ratio to market cap. But I can't hear you, chill. But we can always call it shortly.
Yeah, can you hear me now? I think I should be okay. Yeah. But yeah, beautiful setup. Crypto Jones, when do you buy Cash Cat when you see this setup? He asked on the breakout. All right, so I'll show you something real quick, and I think I should be okay now.
I would maybe even do pullback to this breakout, but yeah, I mean this.
So relatively, I usually buy in on the right shoulder. So I posted this yesterday. That's where I'm buying in right there. I posted this yesterday. That's exactly where I'm buying, and maybe I do this so that way you guys can see it a little better. But that's where I'm buying there. It's in that right shoulder, right below that downtrend. Obviously, you can call it head and shoulders, you can call it triple bottom, you can call it whatever you want. But all I see is bottoming price action in a deep value territory, and I'm gonna load in on the right shoulder. That's usually the play for me. And I mean, I don't really like go hunting for I don't go hunting for specifically head and shoulders, but when I do see one, that's typically where I want to buy.
Yeah, I would say I'm pretty much in the same boat. Maybe not necessarily a right shoulder, but I mean, I think when you're looking at charts like this, you have to attribute like what's the emotions, what's actually happening to cause this sort of price action. And it's really not hard to dissect. Again, most traders are emotional, and you can take a look at a chart and it tells you a full story here. And so when you look at this chart, you can clearly see that, again, like volatility has slowed down a little bit. Sellers are less, like they're less enticed to sell at these levels. Deep value territory in terms of like early runner, leading meme coin on the platform. So like the market cap valuation was kind of, validated at this level. So again, you see big pullback, volatility slowing down. Sellers are not as interested in selling. And you can say, so emotionally, what happens here? You can trend sideways for a lot longer until there's something that gives you a catalyst for this thing to start moving up. And if there are no sellers left in the market, then it's much more likely that the path of least resistance is up, right? So you have to ask yourself, what's the path of least resistance? When you're looking at a chart like this and you see sellers are kind of exhausted here, we're on a big dip. The path of least resistance is not to the downside. It's a leading meme. Add that to that list. The path of least resistance is any sort of narrative shift whatsoever sends us to the upside because you have again, smart money accumulating here, or at least strong holders accumulating here, and a lack of sellers finding this like a valuable area to sell their tokens. So it's honestly a very psychological game. So it's a very psychological game, right? So attribute psychology to what the chart is doing and it tells a full picture. I just explained exactly what happened on this chart here. When overheated, on the way up, everyone was FOMO buying in. Okay, Robinhood's going to be the next big chain. It's huge. This is a leading meme. Oh my gosh, they're showing it on their like Earth is flat call. Vlad is tweeting about there are two sides. There's RWAs and memes. Okay, this is going to be huge. Blow off top, completely subdues and resets. You can see the volume. You can see the spreads on these candles. Then it comes lower. And again, you can clearly see spreads on the candle start compressing. Less volume and volatility. Narrative is starting to get tired, but you still have these fundamental buckets, if you want to go back to those, that kind of fit in terms of it's a leader. It is on Robinhood chain. Sellers are exhausted here. It's on a deep pullback in value territory. And so now we got the full emotional picture. FOMO, euphoria, fear causing this big spike to the downside, and then accumulation. And so you're bidding during the accumulation. So I hope that makes sense. I think when you kind of abstract the TA away from it, when you abstract everything away from a chart and you look at it and think about the psychology behind what's going on for every candlestick, it makes a very clear fundamental story and a very clear fundamental like narrative that you can put a trade behind. So
the way I kind of summarize it is at some point, well, first off, obviously you have to have good asset selection, right? And in this case, going back to Dom's bucket thesis, like that's, top, it's a new ecosystem. So you're going to look for a top meme, top runner, top DEX, top this, top that. Obviously Cash Cat is the top meme on the chain. It's been like that. Obviously we've seen it get flipped by other tokens and stuff like that at certain points. But for me, with these tokens that fit those bigger buckets, at some point they just become too cheap not to buy to a certain demographic of folks. And that's why you see the spreads on the candles, they get so much smaller, especially between the 0.886 and the 0.786. Let's just call that deep value, right? Like, let's just call it DPV, deep value. I don't know. But if we label that deep value territory, that's where people start buying. And it gets to the point where, enough people think it's cheap, price flips, and it starts this FOMO cycle of, oh my gosh, is Cash Cat back? And then it feeds that and feeds that and feeds that. So, and here we are now.
And to add to this, somebody apparently twopped in a single day or single buy, one candle, about $300,000 or 165 ETH. So that is
makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Did you see the recent news, by the way? Let me show you guys
the recent news on Cash.
The recent FOMO news. Let me show you guys. FOMO is now top 10 apps on the App Store.
On the App Store, is this finance or not just finance?
I'm sorry. Trading app FOMO breaks into the top 10 US iPhone finance charts on the App Store. So
yeah,
it's crazy. It's in the finance sector. Not of all the apps, but still a pretty huge jump to make if you're FOMO. So
well, it's not hard to see either, bro. If you go look at FOMO's numbers, like their user base is just blowing up. It's just blowing up. And I think this is largely due to their marketing push outside of crypto Twitter. Like, and again, it becomes LARPy, and we've talked about some of the stuff and the people that are promoting this stuff. They just completely make up fake P&Ls, use buzzwords, but they are actively onboarding a ton of people. If FOMO's top 10, thoughts on Karma? Do we see a bottom here on Karma? Y'all know my thoughts on Karma. Here, I'll do you one better, guys. Let me pull up the Karma stats. I mean, I think still like
It's a question worth asking. It's a
Look,
question
yeah,
worth
it's a great
asking.
beta. I think it's a great beta. But it goes back to the same thing we had a conversation to today with the squeeze devs. It's like there's so many iterations of the same thing. FOMO did really well because it was the first social mobile trading app. Everyone else now after that is simply trying to copy off the tail end, off the back of FOMO's success. So to beat out FOMO, you have to do either one thing 10 times better than them or everything 10 times better than them to actually provide a better experience. And that's what we saw with going from like TG trading bots to, you know, maybe like Photon, and then Axiom did what Photon did just better. They iterated quicker. Okay, so that's the case where you can actually do the same thing. You can copy them and just do it 10 times better and take market share. And that happened over time. Or you have to do something completely unique in the sense that FOMO was the first person to do like the social trading mobile first approach. Again, not a fan of FOMO. I think it's lots of noise. I think it's negative EV to trade there, but it's extremely retail
You
and
think
normally
so?
friendly. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Of course. Of course. FOMO is a cesspool of copy traders who are just following influencers that are looking to extract. I mean, 100%. There, I
Yeah.
mean, I guess there are room for theses, but the theses are like not great from what I've seen. Yeah, I think there's better ways to. Yeah, I think there are better ways and better apps that are gonna prioritize edge rather than edge and signal rather than noise. And FOMO's just FOMO's way too noisy. I don't use FOMO though, so maybe I'm just misjudging.
Yeah, no, like I think like anything, there's a balance, right? You know, with FOMO, you know, there's from one side, at least the positive that I see is as a trader, you can be a little bit more transparent about your trades. If you are, let's say, a good person with good morals, you're not just trying to just like blindly extract out of the market. Like, you know, for someone who, you know, wants to prove that they're a great trader, it's really good social proof. Really good social proof to have on FOMO.
Well, I
So I
guess
like that aspect of it.
yeah, right. I'll attest to that. I think right now P&Ls talk. And I've never like I've always tried to keep my like personal finances off of like Twitter, but you see it time and time again. It's the people that say, you know, they're buying $100,000 or buying $1 million into this coin, or they're flexing a fat P&L or a card. These people gain followers the quickest, like very simply put. And so, yes, of course, FOMO is good for that. It also like attracts LARPs. I remember in the early days, like if you deposit on your FOMO account, it would show your P&L as going up, and people would kind of game that a little bit. So yeah, I do think it adds good social proof, but I think it also just ties into this, feeds into this like flexing culture.
Yeah.
So much. And like the best traders also like don't really give a fuck. Like they don't really flex their P&Ls. Like there are dudes that are up 10, 20, 50, 100 million bucks. And like, you'll just, you know, they have the smallest account on Twitter that you'll never know about. And like, they don't care. Like, why do they care if someone, you know, knows they're up 50 million bucks?
Yeah, they're in
So
Bali with a never mind. But yeah.
nah, bro, they're in the Maldives, bro. They've graduated from Bali. All your Bali influencers, those guys, they're barely doing 6-fig P&Ls, man. Those are like your that's 6-figure hell right there. When you're in Bali, you're in 6-figure hell. Once you get to 7-figure, 7-figure hell, that's when you're doing, you're sipping Mai Tais off the coast of the Maldives with 10 beautiful blonde foreign women, or maybe not blonde, but 10 beautiful foreign women on your yacht. So yeah.
All right.
All
All right.
Could be
All
nice.
right.
Nonetheless, here's
All
FOMO's
right.
numbers.
Yeah.
And by the way, guys, we say it again. Adam is just a great follow. This guy is great analytical research. FOMO has had its biggest week yet last week. $378 million in trading volume. Wow. $378 million in trading volume last week. That's insane, boys. Averaging 34,000 traders a day. 34,000 unique active traders in a day, and generating over $2 million in fees. Less than Collector Crypto, I may add. $150 million trade on Solana, $130 million on Robinhood. Man, and to think FOMO was late to Robinhood, and that's really accounting for half of their volume right now. And then 80 million, a mere 80 million on Binance. Wow. I mean, no, it's pretty incredible. And again, directly reflects user base growth. We saw FOMO had a big spike in users over the last couple of weeks and months. This is those users activating with a new chain to trade on and new opportunities. So again, user acquisition still remains like the most valuable thing, which is why, again, when you go look at analytics and platforms of consumer apps, you don't necessarily need to track the volumes. You need to necessarily track the user growth. How many active weekly, daily users do they have? Is it sticky? Is it growing? Which is what we're doing for Collector Crypt, right? Our Collector Crypt's user metrics up and to the right because those users have a reason to trade or whatever they will. So it's a good thing to look at for Karma. Good thing to look at for any trading app is user growth. Ideally, as long as the platform iterates, those users turn into massive amounts of volume like this if the opportunity presents itself. So wow, that's pretty nuts, man. Here, let me. I told you guys I do Karma. I do Karma because they do have a stats page. So let me find their stats, and of course, it's gonna be nothing like FOMO's. We're talking apples to oranges here, but they are growing, is what I saw. Look at that. That's your boy right there. That's your boy. Okay, but let's find the stats page for y'all.
GM Friv, everyone, give a nice GM to the legend himself.
Give a nice GM to Friv right now. Right now, if you haven't already, give a GM to Friv.
GM in the chat real quick. Just GM in the chat.
Man, this guy's our GOAT right here. Friv keeps the show on the road, boys.
Literally.
Okay.
Literally can't thank him enough.
And I should have just done this from the start. I'm folding, of course. The pressure's on and I'm folding. Here we go. Okay. Let's look at the Karma stats. And I'm bringing this up to share like what is a beta to FOMO that's tradable. Okay. We saw they got a massive volume spike here to 150K. I go down here 30-day growth, right? This is in 30 days. They have 300 active users, which is up 100% from the last 30 days, which is great. Total transactions, 10,100. That's good. Traders are trading, up 182%. Total users, 6,669. So closing in on 7,000 users, which is up 50%. Total users in 30 days, really good. Average transactions, $150. Of course, so that is assumed to go down with traders. Banking volume is at $359,000 for the last 30 days, where trading volume is at 1.1 million, which is up 220%. Yeah, so numbers are up. You can see day-to-day stats right here. Looks like they're averaging around 50 to 60K if you factor in like the median of all these trades. So, I mean, again, like in the grand scheme of things, very low. But I do like the narrative. So we'll see how it does. I don't know. I'm kind of playing into the story of the whole thing. I like Amrish. I like Karma. I would love to see kind of topple FOMO, although that's a very big cake to
big ask.
On. Big ask, yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, there's your stats. You guys can track them here. I think the best thing to do is active users. If the active users grow, when there's catalysts to trade, this goes up too. Okay. So what about Pump Fund just dropped their newsletter number 5? You want to read through that right quick?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Yeah, so Pump Fund just dropped newsletter number 5. They're being a little more transparent here. Let's just read through this and see. Of course, notoriously this week, Pump Fund's just mogged Hyperliquid in terms of revenue, despite being like 1/15 of the market cap or something crazy. Oh, dude. Oh, shoot. I should actually show this chart. I'm not sure if you guys saw the Robinhood Q2 earnings compared to Coinbase, but Coinbase Q2 is bad.
Yeah. Coinbase is slacking, bro.
Coinbase. Let's see. I actually want to see what the coin did. What's Coin doing? Coinbase's equity. Yeah, so this doesn't look great. I actually think I have it under stocks here. Whatever. I got it pulled up here. Yeah, this is Coinbase stock. Pretty brutal Q2 based on what I saw. High level stats. I didn't really look too deep into it, but not great. Especially when you have things like Robinhood that are starting to offer, more crypto solutions. It's just, and the irony of this whole thing is actually Robinhood's majority of their money came from prediction markets this quarter, I believe, is what I saw too, which is kind of nutty to think about. also goes to show like distribution is king, right? Which is why when you see platforms like Pump Fund going and creating a trading terminal, it's like, okay, duh, it makes sense. Like if you have distribution, just like grab the lowest hanging fruits and just do it, right? So for example, in Robinhood's case, crypto exchange, obviously stocks, prediction markets, which is what you saw. We saw all the exchanges do it too, right? OKX added prediction markets, Coinbase added prediction markets. If you have the distribution, just add the free revenue that you can tack on with any of these like these trends. And people were mad. They're like, "Oh, why are you going to add prediction markets?" If I looked at if I looked at Coinbase's top line revenue this quarter, I bet you it would come in higher than a lot of people expected. So, I mean, yeah, like I agree. Like, let's not turn financial apps into gambling apps. I think that's completely against like the narrative. But at the same time, as a team, as a founder, it's like lowest hanging fruit. Why not? Free money, print it. Okay, but with that being said, maybe we'll talk about numbers later. Yeah, pump looks great. We'll show the pump chart here. Before I do pump newsletter, actually, let's do pump chart right quick. Pump chart looks great. And again, like, you know, if no one else is going to do it, I will. Pat on the back, bottom ticked. All right. Bottom tick for all the right reasons. Yeah, this looks great. I mean, Pump Fund looks great. Again, let's talk about the chart. Not even going to do much TA on it, but let's talk about the emotional perspective of the chart. Okay. Pump Fund launches, market's terrible. Look at these candles, look at these spreads, blah, blah, blah. Everyone's got a lot of Pump Fund. Investors are selling, early days, bad narrative. Look at the price action down here. Compare it to right here. Why would you invest right here? Why would you invest right here? Euphoria is high. You know, there's a lot of investor unlocks, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Whereas down here, we've been in the same range now. We've been in this range now for 180 days. Okay, our risk reward down here is immensely better than it was any point up here. Because if for 100 days you can stay flat, at least your downside's relatively limited. When we know they're doing $500,000 a day in buybacks. $500,000 a day in buybacks. So we did this math at the very bottom here. I said it. I'm like, guys, this is trading at a 1 to 3 price to earnings ratio. In 3 years, if price stayed at the same price, they will have removed all of supply out, assuming revenue stay the same and assuming price stays the same. Okay, those are your two factors. 1 to 3 price to earnings ratio on one of the fastest companies to reach $1 billion profitability, one of the fastest growing crypto companies in the world, and this is trading at a 1 to 3 price to earning ratios, and they're doing consistent buybacks. And of course, trend has now shifted where if you want to do the TA, you can do, you know, the downtrend clearly has been broken. Downtrend clearly has been broken. Again, common theme here. We see a suppressed range has been formed. If you look closely and you really want to do TA, if my TA bros want to step in and look at this, we can do that as well. And we can see from a Wyckoff standpoint, this is a pretty textbook Wyckoff type 1 schematic where you have a spike in volume here in coordination with the largest first sell. This is a selling climax, spike in volume. You want to see decreasing volume into the spring, increasing volume out of it. And so we get that. Great charts out here, selling climax, automatic rally. You got your secondary tests in phase B. I know I'm talking gibberish. I'm going to get done with it. You have the final shakeout with your spring on relatively low volume. Great reaction, of course, jumping the creek, as we call it here, and price is moving up, right? So beautiful chart. Volume is not increasing like we typically want it to for a textbook type 1, but it looks really great. On that other hand, though, volume from a Pump Fund from a fundamental standpoint is just like continuing to crush. The biggest bear case I had from Pump Fund in the early days was, okay, there's no way this is a sustainable. There's no way this is sustainable. No way this is sustainable. There's no way they're doing $1 million a day still in a terrible market. This is a tail end effect of all the coins that were good that launched. It's going to diminish. Has not diminished. It has not diminished. So that's the Pump Fund take. Looks really good. Probably goes higher. Still trading a sub $1 billion market cap. Biggest fear is looming unlocks, of course, which are now, I believe, unlocking every day for like the next couple of years, which is the biggest fear. But Pump Fund looks great. The second other fear would be rotation off of Solana. If Solana dies, Pump Fund dies too, right? So those are your two the caveats. Okay, but Yeah, with that said, yeah, let's do MetaDAO. I will absolutely do a MetaDAO rundown to support the new sponsor because we love MetaDAO. So Meta token has done really well. It got a Bybit listing recently. I believe it got a Coinbase listing. I'm not sure if it's just a Coinbase roadmap or an actual listing. But yeah, doing really well. If you held MetaDAO, you are outperforming right now. Like, this is a good looking chart. Definitely outperforming pump fund holders. So yeah, for 180 days, this is actually we just did the 180-day measurement on pump fund where it's about even. This is actually slightly up. Trading at $100 million market cap. I think the caveat here is we're seeing some really good projects come out of MetaDAO, and their pipeline continues to get stronger, I think, as it increases. Of course, Credible being the most recent one. So this looks really good. Again, it's as a holder of MetaDAO, you own the underlying treasury IP of the company, right? So there's ownership here. So this $109 million valuation isn't just like some fugazi number. There's real value attributed to that. And again, I go back to saying Credible, I think, was a tipping point for MetaDAO. Great fundamental launch. Amazing numbers, growing consistently. Shout out Contra, who's been doing a lot of just DD and research on Credible as a business. And it looks great. I think even here at a $12 million valuation for Credible is pretty fantastic. Last I checked, they're doing $3.5 million annualized. So about a 1 to 3.5, 1 to 4 price to earnings ratio. And then, you're going to want to have to go ahead and subtract the treasury from that. Go ahead and subtract, maybe a few months of salary. And you can start getting a pretty good picture of like where the value lies here in growth. So Credible looks great. And I think that was a big tipping point for Meta and their business model. So MetaDAO looks really good. Let's do a TA though. And I always get confused on Meta because their liquidity is so weird on here. Like, this is the one I have starred on my watch list. It's got 2.6K volume and 43K liquidity. So I'm not sure if I'm looking at the wrong pool, but nonetheless, yeah, MetaDAO looks good. You had the run up, you had the pullback, you got the listings. I think what probably happens realistically here is when you have pumps from listings, it actually typically works as an exit event in bear markets. So this probably comes below original listing. And at that point, you get a really good buying opportunity because fundamentals have improved, technical standpoint. Fundamentally, MetaDAO has improved, but from a price perspective, price has gone down. These are great setups. In bear markets, I think that's what you want to watch out for. Look for catalysts that pump price, people that are ready to get out, exit, and typically goes lower than the catalyst actually started. You'll see this happen time and time again. So yeah, maybe as we dip back into lower territory pre-listing announcements, I think you get, a favorable risk to reward there. Y'all just had an open trade on how the raise go. It went fantastic. 600% oversubscribed, I believe. Order Trade was who we had on. You guys should go watch that episode. With that said, let's actually go through a few of MetaDAO's upcoming raises because they have a few on the way. So let me actually go. Okay. Yeah, so we got a few raises on the way for MetaDAO from the Futardio platform. So let's actually run through those because the Futardio platform's been really, really good. Rip Cars, thousands of percentage oversubscribed. And that is Cars ticker. We'll see how that's doing. And this was a nice opportunity because they're really not taking a salary for the first couple months. And, lots of this is just going to funding inventory. So it's like largely a NAV play, right? What are the net asset values? Similar to Cards. This is trading at 1.2 million. It was very successful. Futardio, meme coin attached to their platform, is also actually doing pretty good. Futardio called. And Josh and I think Chill was there too, potentially. We're just talking about this down here. There was 50K, I think they had on their balance sheet. It was trading at like 100K, 200K, whatever it was. So, the mimetic premium, I guess you could call it, was like 100%. And this ended up pumping to about 520K. It's now at 320K. Again, largely represents the success we're seeing with MetaDAO right now. So let me pop over here. You know what, guys? Before I get into the MetaDAO, I don't want to just derail us, but let me read the Pump Fund newsletter because that was tied into the Pump Fund take that I was just going to do. I haven't read this yet. Pump Fund newsletter, revenue and pump updates, protocol fees from the bonding curve, pump swap and terminal total to $8.95 million for the week of July 2027. Wow. To August 2nd. up 18% week over week. They're making $9 million a week. Over the past 7 days, 4.45 million in pump tokens was bought back and burned, which equates to 2.2 billion pump. As part of our commitment to buy back and burn 50% of revenue, blah, 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 blah. The buybacks and burns was offset 15.59% of total supply. Jeez. That's a lot. You can track revenue here. We've seen this. Launchpad and pump swap. Launchpad bonding curve, volume. All right, looks like they're just going over numbers here. Terminals looking good. Okay, so there wasn't much of like a directional update here or anything, but just number update. Yeah, numbers look good. No surprise here. No surprise here. All right, let's search some of these new MetaDAO Futardio launches that are coming. So on the 10th, and why you guys should be watching these is because these are quite literally getting oversubscribed left and right. Micro Realms is launching. I believe they tried to raise once previously already, if I remember correctly. So Micro Realms is raising. Keep eyes on that. It's a transparent Futarchy governed agribusiness on Solana, starting with mushrooms. All revenue flows to the DAO and treasury. Yeah, see, this is like the interesting stuff here. When you can collectively set up businesses, and I'm not sure what it costs to run this thing, but you can raise money and have almost all of it go towards like inventory. In this case, maybe seeds for mushrooms or growing mushrooms or whatever. Like, how profitable is the mushroom business? And if someone could create a decentralized autonomous organization, handle all the back end work, of course, you need to make sure the operator is good. But think of any business you want. Think of any business you can think of that is a good business. It just takes maybe upfront capital or whatever. Again, we saw it for like Rip Cars, where they made a cars gotcha machine. What's the biggest barrier to entry there? Well, it's number one, you need a great operator. And number two, you have to be able to buy a bunch of this inventory to even seed the initial investment. This is what I think is really interesting for MetaDAO, right? What's a really good business model that the average person can't just start themselves, that a decentralized autonomous organization kind of can run and manage, right? And what amount of capital would that take? My first thought is like data centers. These data centers are providing returns on investment like this. They're extremely profitable businesses. Of course, you and I couldn't start a large scale data center. Maybe we could do a small one, a couple $100,000, couple $1 million, whatever. But to start a large scale data center, you know, it would take a ton of money. Now that's an extreme example, but like, what are these examples of high ROI businesses that have a bit of barrier to entry because there's either some sort of like expertise gap or like funding gap? And how can we combine the two? And I think that's what's really interesting. Something like this, like a mushroom growing business. I don't know if these are psychedelic mushrooms. I don't know if these are normal mushrooms. I don't freaking know. But I have no expertise in mushrooms. I have no expertise. And like, what does the TAM of this market look like? It's probably so small that you can kind of set up a niche group and really kind of print money on it. With that being said, like, let's talk about mushrooms. I don't know anything about mushrooms, but like, I think these are kind of cool use cases. Micro Realms is a transparent Futarchy government agribusiness on Solana, starting with mushrooms. All revenue flows to the DAO and treasury. And so, like, what can convince me to buy into something like this? Can you show me a pitch deck that shows incredible return on investments? And do we have a sample that's shown you do that for the last 6 months to a year? Or are there other people doing this and you can prove that you're an operator that can execute on this? Like, that's what I want to see, because there's a lot of value in these. I forget the name of these markets. Not derivatives. It's like lean-fi, right? It's like a lean business. Tax liens, right? Tax liens, investment banks can't go and put a big portion of their investments into like tax liens because it's just such a small market. But that doesn't mean it's not an extremely profitable business model. And so that's what I want to see. Like, these markets that are maybe a little too small for like investment banks or big players to really get involved in, at least in a meaningful way, but are actually really, really profitable. And maybe a DAO or something could be like a better option. I'm not going to like waste all your time just to continue to talk on that same narrative, but I think it is interesting. Mushroom industry is massive, especially in the Oregon region, right? So like, maybe I'm not in the geographical spot that could start a business like this, but if it's profitable, like, why would I not want to get involved? Of course, though, I think I would want to be involved in a case like this if I have an incredibly profitable business from like a dividend perspective rather than a token go up perspective, because I think that can quickly get overheated. And in that case, maybe you just take it for a trade, right? Maybe you just take it for a trade. But I think like what would be more valuable in my eyes, maybe this is some critiquing for MetaDAO or microrealms that we can kind of try to implement without becoming a security. Like, how can I find these businesses to where I can invest in them and start to get paid dividends, maybe as well as holding a token, and maybe you can vote on that, right? I guess that's the beauty of this. You can vote on potentially getting dividends, but like, yeah, I don't want all my exposure to be in the token necessarily, because sometimes tokens can act irrationally. Number one. But number two, moreover, I think it also like adds to more short-term aligned people, right? If the token goes up because profitability is really, really good, there's a chance this gets overheated, and like true believers still believe in the project, but because the value is now at a premium, they sell just naturally because that's what like the smart business decision is. And then you kind of lose some long-term alignment there. So I don't know, maybe they've thought about this further, but apparently it's a pretty profitable business. Why we're betting on cordyceps. I don't even know what that word is. If you all know cordyceps at all, you probably know it from The Last of Us, a fungus that takes over and its host and turns it into something else entirely. Real cordyceps does exactly that in the wild. It infects insects, grows through them, and eventually fruits out of their bodies. Brutal, weirdly beautiful, and one of the strangest organisms on the planet. But strip away the horror movie framing, and you get something else. A functional mushroom that traditional Chinese medicine and Tibetan medicine have used for centuries for immunity, energy, and recovery. And in the last decade, it has quietly become one of the fastest growing categories in the entire wellness industry. Like, this is what I'm saying, bro. If this is true, I would love to diversify my portfolio into a bunch of these niche little things that someone's a complete expert in. It's a small market, but I can get incredible returns from it. And I'm cool with putting like 1 to 5%, if that, of a portfolio in a handful of these different things. Like, I think that's a pretty cool concept. But it's become one of the fastest growing categories in the entire wellness industry. The story that actually put it on the map, and guys, let me check how long this read is real quick, because I'm not going to be sitting here and doing all that. All right, cool. Not bad. The story that actually put it on the map. In 1993, a group of Chinese women distance runners coached by Ma Juren went on an absurd run at the national games in Beijing. They broke 5 world records, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so they went on a crazy run, whatever, really impressive. Wang Juxia's time beat the existing world record by 42 seconds and stood unbroken for over 2 decades. Naturally, everyone assumed steroids. The athletes were tested and came back clean. Blah, blah, blah. We kind of get the point there. That single press moment is what introduced cordyceps to the Western world, a traditional Chinese remedy going from regional folk medicine to global sports medicine science headlines overnight, off the back of some of the most dominant distance running performances anyone had ever seen. The market. The global cordyceps market was worth about $1.6 billion in 2025. It is projected to hit close to $4 billion by 2034, growing at roughly 10 to 11% a year. It's pretty good. Zoom out to the broader functional mushroom category, cordyceps, reishi, lion's mane, and the rest, and you were looking at $13 billion market in 2026. Again, $13 billion, like in the grand scheme of things, is very, very small, which is why like there's not many operators that would take on the task of like really establishing in this, at least from like an investment bank perspective or whatever it might be. But for someone like us, if they need $250,000, it kind of, again, interesting. Is all I'm saying. $13 billion market in 2026, head towards $20 billion plus by 2031. Within the basket, cordyceps is the fastest growing single ingredient, faster than reishi, faster than lion's mane. This is not a small niche trend. That is a category leader in growth rate. Asia Pacific drives almost half of the global revenue. Again, geographically, not something I'd be familiar with. Closer to 47% because the region already has centuries of culture, trust in the ingredient. China, Japan, South Korea, and India are the core markets, not because of the marketing campaign, but because this is medicine people already believe in. Where India fits in. India's angle on cordyceps is quietly interesting. In 2020, an Indian architecture startup successfully completed one of the first profitable commercial harvests of cordyceps. Okay. This is when we talk about profitability. Let's see. All right, so the Indian government kind of cracked the code. They got profitability on this. During our testing phase, we already have positive leads for 30 kilograms at a minimum value of $6,000. That is real demand from real buyers before the operation is even running at scale. Test case. Test case. That's what we wanted, right? I really love what MetaDAO is doing with the curated side of things. Their ecosystem is like a one-stop shop for everything. Dude, MetaDAO is best in class, guys, legitimately. Obviously, this is not a sponsorship that just they threw money at us and we took it. This is something, we've been talking about working on for a long time. So, Dom, you should check out the statement stack. It's a fantastic mental booster. Thanks, bro. Are you saying I'm retarded, or is this a legitimate, a good shout here, a good proper shout? Either way, I'll check it out. Lion's mane mushroom extracts are some of the most promising neurotropic compounds and worth exploring for anyone wanting a mental edge. This is what we keep Crypto Jones around for. It's these weird niche little things, these wellness things that Crypto Jones is good for, man. He's a wellness bro. But okay, so we got a sample case. So maybe I'll read through this a little more on my own because we got a couple to go through. More project details, roadmap, raise, team soon. Yeah, you'll see their raise page. That's going to have all the information. But again, like, this is pretty cool. Mushrooms, not something I would traditionally care about. It's Asia-based, right? Something I don't have geographical access to. It's niche enough to where you don't have these massive investors coming in, private equity coming in and buying up everything. I don't know, like, this is interesting stuff to me. And this is more sustainable as well, right? Crypto kind of lacks sustainability in a lot of senses. I think this is like a more sustainable option if we can do this times a million with a bunch of different brick and mortar businesses that are simply lacking, I don't know, capital or whatever it might be. So that's pretty cool. Okay, let's talk about Yield Bay. Yield Bay is one I've seen around for a while. They'll be launching as well. I'm not sure if I can say when these guys are launching or what, but we were told to check these out. So, or well, we were asked to, I should say. The final tab for Solana yield. DeFi risks, man. First thing I think about, unfortunately. Man, DeFi's just had such a rough shake. We all know how important security is in Solana DeFi, even more so today. Today we're, okay, well, it's promising. Promising. Before I even read about it, they're reading my mind here. We all know how important security is in Solana DeFi, even more so today. Today, we're launching Yield Bay Protocol Health Beta, a live monitoring layer that tracks protocol status, activity alerts, and recent on-chain changes in one place. All right, let's check out their website. Initially, I'll say I think conceptually not super interesting to me, just because I think as AI gets stronger, we're going to have these persistent monitoring systems for DeFi. And I'm surprised. I mean, I think we already do to some extent. But here, let me read through, I guess, more there. Look at that. It's been on ownership, guys. And ownership's great for MetaDAO and all things. Yeah, all things MetaDAO, all things Futarchy. They cover this solely, right? So it's a much more in-depth coverage than we're going to do on this show in some cases. It looks like they had Yield Bay on yeah, later last month. So go give that a listen. Like, this is something where I would rather listen to it than kind of read through an entire report on it. Just because, like, the concept's not super exciting to me, but I would listen to something. I'm also an auditory guy. Okay, so that's Yield Bay. Just, again, keep eyes on it. We'll probably interview some of these guys as they get to the raise day, as we've done in the past. Look at that. I just searched seeing Crack Dev comes up, my guy. All right. And I guess this is another one as well to keep eyes on. Yeah. Where anyone can launch, run, and monetize AI agents on Solana. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. AI agent narrative kind of like this one liner right here. And maybe I'm giving some good feedback to any of the teams watching here, where anyone can launch, run, and monetize AI agents.
Has it been done before or tried before?
I'm saying it seems kind of like a dull narrative. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, not trying to FUD but a question I would ask is, has this been tried before? But even, is this what Banker tried to do? right? Like we saw the run on base earlier this year with AI agents and autonomous companies and all this stuff. Like we went through that whole phase. What are they doing different here than what we already saw? And maybe that can give us a little bit more insight into like why we should be interested.
Yeah,
I mean,
Crypto Jones.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's like it's a one-liner, but it's a one-liner you've heard so many times. It kind of the meaning, it loses meaning a little bit.
Lead with what makes you different. Because I mean, they're trying to attract capital, right? They're still trying to ultimately they're trying to raise. So lead with what makes you different and then branch out from there.
I mean, it looks like they've been in the space for a little bit based on this video. Yeah, look, I think, I mean, look, we'll get down to the brass tacks of it. Like having a marketplace where you can launch, run, and monetize AI agents is valuable and important, but it is also a competitive industry, right? Highly competitive. So unless this team has like extreme credentials and wherewithal to like be the go-to marketplace, I just think you're competing in a very difficult space. And then also like, yeah, what makes you unique? Because we've seen the marketplaces where you can create AI agents, and also like what kind of value do these AI agents bring? I think we're starting to see the cracks in terms of AIs, like financial AI products, AgentFi, starting to become potentially valuable. But the facts of the matter is we still haven't seen a very successful AI algorithm that's actually printing people money. And I say this with experience as somebody, as Chill knows, I have been a trader for a long time, and I traded, I've experimented with algorithms. I've traded for different proprietary trading firms in the past. And a large part of my money, man, this would have been in 2020, 2021, 2022. I spent tens of thousands of dollars trying to find algorithms that would become successful traders, be successful algorithms trading wise. It's just not a thing. It was not a thing. So I have deep research and industry experience looking for like algorithmic trading solutions. The truth of the matter is the best algorithmic trading solutions are contracted out and owned by investment banks, quant shops, like whatever it might be. Your Citadels, your Jane Streets, like all those guys own the greatest algorithms of all time. And you sure as hell know they're not going to be selling those to the retail because they're printing so much money. So there are algorithms out there that can do this. But of course, they're few and far in between, and they are not available to retail. And I haven't seen an agentic finance solution that's actually consistently making money. I still have not seen that to this day. You see some do really, really well during certain positions in the market, and then they go and crash and burn. And backtesting and live data are two very, very different things. So that's my one critique here. And I'm a hard critic of agentic trading until I start seeing some profitability there. But
yeah, I would need the proof of concept first. This has been tried. It's been tried so many different times from so many different angles.
Yeah, I want to see users. I want to see protocol growth. And again, the marketplace isn't necessarily just for agentic finance solutions, right? Maybe it's for image generators, but like again, it all just feels like, okay, AI slop. We've seen this AI psychosis. We've seen this we've seen this so many times. And again, hard critiques. Like, I don't want to sound like an asshole for the team that's listening to this, but like, I guess feedback there would be, how do you differentiate yourself? Why is this something we haven't seen a million times already? Do you have any traction numbers, test cases you can, show for this? So, yeah, but that's, you watch the Futardio, and then I guess to close off this Futardio, Futardio is going to be the permissionless side of MetaDAO, right? The permissionless launchpad, which I would recommend to a lot of people. Of course, everyone actually, if you're planning to launch. But yeah, you can get updates here. This is another one going live soon. Agents, micropayments, MetaDAO kind of probably leans into the X402 narrative. Oh, look at this. New partnership. But yeah, so keep tabs there. Futardio is going to be a great place to do that. Chill. Anything you want to run through? Are NFTs back, bro?
They could be. They might be. I mean, I've seen some NFT stuff pop off. Hoodrat has their. Oh wait, no, Hoodrat doesn't have an NFT minute. Never mind. I think that was a scam. Never mind. Scratch what I just said. But yeah, I think I have seen a select few NFT opportunities pop up. That's more than I've seen in like 2 years. So, I don't know if you want to call that back or if you want to just call that, hey, there's just one or two opportunities. But again, I mean, it just goes back to what we were saying earlier. Don't be a washed trader. Don't be lazy. Just be willing to dig into these protocols, read threads, read white papers, cross the barrier to entry, no matter how high it may be. And on the other side, you could have gains waiting for you, right? So there's opportunities in these markets. Just don't give up on them because they're hard to get to.
Yeah, I don't know. The NFT thing is kind of interesting. I mean, it's pretty crazy. Stockbroker's NFT more than tripled its floor price to a peak of $12,600 in less than a month, making it the sixth largest NFT by market cap. That's pretty insane. I mean, that's pretty nuts, dude. What a run. Holy shit, what a run.
Yeah.
Also quickly, this is the last thing I want to cover here. Let's talk Solana. Like, this Solana bull case is pretty compelling right now. There's a great post here by Soul and XXN, clearly Soul Maxi. So like, take that with a grain of salt. Okay. But he makes a great point here. We've had the easiest 3 to 5x trade sitting right in front of us for many months now. In my opinion, it's just a matter of time until we see Solana at $200+ again. Reason being, 97% of tokenized equity volume is here. Now, that's in question now with Robinhood coming out and really supporting tokenized equities. But we have seen Solana dominate and kind of be the first mover to that market. And that was one of my theses for Solana as well, and Meteora specifically, was these equities coming to Solana it's a very, very big market, and Meteora is, of course, going to facilitate a lot of that. But yeah, so we're seeing it reflected in the numbers. So bull case, 97% of tokenized equities volume is happening on Solana. Inflation is about to be fixed. I'm not sure if you guys saw the proposal that Solana is raising, but it seems very promising. And I wish I could tell you off the top of my head. I was just looking at it before this stream, but it does seem like a very bullish proposal for Solana. So tap into that. I'm not going to even waste my time like trying to explain it. Total stake SOL is at an all-time high. Most collectibles are being traded here. Solana trading volume grew 8 times faster than Hyperliquid in H1 2026. For the first half of 2026, Solana trading volume grew 8 times faster than Hyperliquid. App revenue capture ratio hit 382%. Are you bullish Solana, Chill?
I am bullish Solana. I've talked about like how most of the supply of Solana has been locked up, whether that be in ETFs or what have you, or institutional hands. But yeah, I mean, I'm bullish Solana. I'm not sure the part for me that I can't put an all-time high specifically because of the way the market cap, because there's a circulating market cap, there's an FDV, and then you have the unlocks that'll be coming out. I don't know the unlock schedule, so I don't know how that's going to affect like the price versus the unlocks, and that's going to inevitably change. So I am bullish Solana. I just don't know the dynamics around the unlocks, how that'll affect supply. Even during last bull market, we went up to what was that, $500? But if it wasn't for the unlocks and all the supply hitting the market, then we actually could have went higher. If it wasn't for pump fund dumping Solana the entire way, we actually could have went even higher. So that's why I'm like, I'm bullish Solana. I just can't put a target on it just yet because there's a lot of other dynamics that I don't have a read on.
Yeah, no, totally valid. Yeah, I mean, we see this thing here with BlackRock. BlackRock files with the SEC to issue tokenized fund shares on Solana. I guess that's
Really?
it's pretty cool.
Okay.
I want to see where this proposal is. Solana proposal. Because it did look pretty damn bullish.
What do you mean? What proposal?
Okay, here. Solana Floor posted this, so this is official. Breaking: Solana's fee burn and disinflation proposal are set to enter an initial vote today. Together, they would double annualized disinflation to 30%, cut emissions by $1.36 billion over 6 years, and raise daily burns from 650 SOL, which is $47,000, to 9,000 SOL, which is $650,000. Daily burns would jump from 50K to 650K. if this passes. I don't see any reason not to like push this through. So I don't know if this passes. This looks to be bullish for Solana.
That'd be
but
super bullish.
yeah,
I mean, it could validate the rotation thesis that Cryptic talked about. So could mean that we could get a nice little rotation. I mean, SOL price goes up. Degens have more capital to play with. Yeah, Crypto Jones could be right. Solana summer coming, even though summer's almost done.
let's see it, man. I hold a lot of Solana, so I guess that's your disclaimer here. I do hold Solana, and I want it to go up. Do you think Solana will hit $200 within a year from today? I think
Probably.
I think so.
Yeah. I would say even easily. But again, I don't know what the ultimate target is, but $200 is pretty low.
Yeah, I mean, we're at 75 today. That would mean about a 200% pump. Look, I think it's lesser even a bet on Solana, as much as it is a bet on Solana, of course, hitting $200. But like in a year from now, where do we stand in the crypto markets? And I think generally, and Chilla, I think can agree with this. We're higher.
Yeah, but we're in the middle of the bull market 12 months from now, in my opinion. Either
I think so.
Either middle or second half.
Also, bro, the monthly close on Solana for what 9 or 10 months straight has been down.
Yeah, man,
Brutal.
I mean, hey, look, it's got to end at some point.
Brutal, but the truth is, they've been like meaningless candles. It's been 182 days, and we're generally relatively in like
same position.
I mean, yeah, 10% down, 11% down. Now, again, mind you, 75% down from highs, which is insane to think about. That Solana was at nearly $300, and now we're down 75% on a major asset like this. But yeah, like RR becomes enticing right around here for Solana. So yeah, I would rather be in Solana than sidelined. I am in Solana rather than sidelined. So also hype. Yeah, hype kind of starting to pull back a little bit.
Yeah, hype I'm thinking hype might get us back into our initial target zone. I remember we were targeting like it actually tagged it. Yeah, it actually tagged it. It tagged our $51 zone. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it could even still like chop here for a quick second.
I got to correlate this to hype's numbers. I'd have to go on like Blockworks or something and see what's up.
Oh my God, what happened to Kate? Oh God.
Yeah, I saw someone post. I thought Kate was going to $1 billion. It just got raped or something. Did the kid sell? Did the kid sell?
Did it just get raped?
I think so.
Oh, jeez.
Oh my gosh, it got slurped though. What the heck? What the crap?
Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness.
It got
who the heck?
$10 million and got slurped up to 47. Went from 10 to 50. Holy dip buys.
Oh, X got suspended. X got suspended. Gotcha.
Catalyst.
Gotcha.
10 mil buy was honestly free though. Then I'm not gonna lie. Good old X suspension. That happens all the time, bro. People just they're either sideline and they put up a bunch of bots or they spam to get something suspended. It should be up and running in a couple days. The longer it takes, the worse, of course. But okay, I was thinking the kid like dumped his entire $3 million bag or something.
Yeah, I thought so too. I was like, dang, rough.
Holy cow, though. This went up to 85 million. Holy.
That's the highest, and I'm assuming this is organic, but that's the highest an organic chart has gone
in a minute.
In a long, long time, let alone a meme coin.
Dude, again, like, yeah, what kind of bear market are you in if there are like multiple 100x opportunities a week? I mean, you got to be really tapped in and you got to be pretty lucky too. Like, that's the caveat. You have to be pretty lucky. You have to be really tapped in. But
yeah,
there's opportunities. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right, y'all boys.
All right, y'all boys. We will catch you. Looking at cards looking pretty good. We talked about their numbers. Credibles looking pretty good. V4, man, we got them coming on later this week. What's up with V4? You want to talk about what we got next week, and then we'll call it there?
Yeah, let's take a look at the schedule real quick, and we can call it. Yeah, no. So V4, basically, I'm just kind of waiting to talk to the team. I mean, I was telling the boys in the Discord, like, at the end of the day, that's the benefit of having something like MCG, where you can actually like interview a team and get a sense of and just kind of like suss them out a little bit.
It's the only way to do it.
Hearing, yeah, like was seeing some mixed signals on the timeline about the team and stuff like that, and there was just so many different V4 launch pads coming out. Some were real, some weren't, and I thought it was an OG ETH dev that was like, a Chad, but when I hear, team, there's mixed signals on the team, I'm like, well, I'm not really sure exactly how I want to digest that. That's a big hole in the thesis for me. So I, had to. In my opinion, that hit invalidation for me as far as my thesis is concerned. So, but happy to talk to them later this week and just kind of get a sense of, okay, who are you? Are you going to dox or are you not? Even if it's not about doxing, what's your background?
We're expecting
what
to
qualifies
dox
you to build. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's see. I want to get it. I'm interested in what's their background, what qualifies them to build. How are they looking at the space? What are they doing different than anyone else? I'm looking forward to kind of getting that. And then that will help me to kind of reshape my thesis a little bit, come up with a new invalidation point, and then move on from there.
It'll be a good one to watch.
Yeah.
Talk us through that Tuesday.
All right. So today, obviously, we had Trader Radio, ton of stuff that we talked about today, including Dom's slip ups. Tomorrow we have Cesar Protocol Cesar. Hopefully, they'll correct me on that. At 12:30, 1:15 we have Pocket Pull X, another
I believe
TCG protocol.
Collector Crypt is a backer there potentially. I don't want to speak out of turn. Can we see if Collector Crypt follows? Oh yeah, Buddha's following. Yeah. I think this is a Collector Crypt partner.
Okay, so that could be awesome. And we'll dig into that protocol tomorrow, kind of get a sense of, traction. Where are they launching? What makes them different? Are they building on top of cards? Are they building something completely different? So yeah, we'll dig into the entire lore there. Outside of that, I think that's
we got
it.
A banger week though. We got
Derp
coming on Wednesday. I think they're at $7.5 million valuation. Derive coming back on. V4 coming on Thursday as well. Sunrise coming on Thursday. Friday we got Uru, which is a big one right now. Oh look, we have another available. Okay, we have available slot Friday too. If you want someone else on Friday, tell them to hit our DMs.
Hit us up. Yeah, some good stuff cooking here this week.
As per usual.
While we wait for markets to do what they do. But all right, boys. Well, GG's. It's been a fun day. Let me know if you guys need anything in the comments. Hit us up. We'll be posting, full segments, clips, and all that. Hit us up in the comments. If you're in the Discord, let us know who you want us to bring on. Again, we got another open slot. But I will see you on the timeline, and I'll see you Discord members in the Discord. GG.
Y'all do the thing, bro. Like, follow, retweet the stream. Make sure you check out our YouTube. It's a really nice viewing experience. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just me, but going on X on my phone has been brutal in terms of like watching viewership experience. So YouTube's almost always a better option in some cases. So check it out. Check out our Twitch too if you prefer it there too. But y'all know the drill. We love you. Monday through Friday, every day, high signal. Lots of value. Be here, be square. Appreciate you guys as always. Our boys in here. RJ, Crypto Jones, Frib, Pepe, Fumbler. Yup. All right.
GG's, boys. Peace.